My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system, which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. See thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com. It is 9:02 a.m. This is Dunkin' Donuts. This is Euclid Avenue. I want you to take a good look at this demon, and that's exactly what it is. This is not the sun and this third party. This is a demon, and this is demonic activity that I'm subject to. You have what is directed light, like laser-like conduct, shooting onto me, touching over me, and minions like this sitting inside of Dunkin' Donuts, monitoring with communication devices. All right, this is the conduct of demons, 7ZXM629, and he's right under what is not the actual sun. This is 355. I'm in Ontario on Upland, and in Upland. Let me be clear. Yesterday at this time, I walked to what is the Ovid Family Community Library, and I showed you the fake sun over me as I went earlier that I typically do after that time of opening. Not only that, I'm in the city of Pomona, documenting the minions that are the Pomona Police Department. The state keeping the fake sun over this building inside of Dunkin' Donuts because this is where I'm at, and this is where demons are maintaining presence, monitoring with communication devices, engaging in terrorism. All right, let me be clear. Not only is this not the sun, there's no vantage point where any light's going to be shooting inside. This is the ongoing demonic behavioral pattern. And you have ongoing systematic criminal activity going on. All right, and so this is crossing path. This is being present in the path while the state, these are demons engaging in touching with directed light. 7ZXM629 is a demon-possessed stalker and also a documented criminal engaging in interstate stalking. This is a psychopath aiming headlights. All right, monitoring surrounding the building, while the state is also aiming directed light inside of Dunkin' Donuts, doing the same, crossing path under what is a light source, not the sun, P.O.C. All right, 7PGF159. The state engaging in aiming light through aiming it directly into the side of the building where I'm sitting, and this is the placement of the light source over the building. This is P.O.C. All right, it is Sunday, February 6, 2022. And just to speak to my current presence and where I'm coming from, the state engaging in the ongoing maintenance of the light source. And while I'm revealing what's the criminal system and documenting it for purposes of prosecuting a government and a people, that is the people of the state of California, I'm also speaking to and revealing what's demonic activity. So you have what is the state keeping the light source, which is not the actual sun. This is Satan itself hovering over me and through what is not the actual sun that remains at 8:27 this morning while I'm inside of the vehicle that remained parked at 630 North Fern, remaining over the vehicle street for street, turn for turn, where I am taken in no direction near the B&G Plaza or the Ovid Family Community Library, driving what is west on G Street, and then to drive north on Mountain Avenue, arriving at what is the Mountain Shopping Plaza, and inside of what is Dunkin' Donuts specifically, and that's exactly where you see the fake sun. That is Satan itself that's hovering over the building, and also the direct documentation where you understand, and this is not possibly the sun, as it's remaining over me, again, at the B&G Plaza, as I remain there day in and day out and documenting that, and also yesterday at the time that I captured video already, which is 9:02 a.m. this morning, which I also used to, you're going to juxtapose that to, again, at 9:02 a.m. on January 27th, where am I? In the city of Pomona. This is not coexisting, and this is what is relevant with regard to what's not possibly the sun, as it maintains central presence over me, which is serving to the criminal conduct of what are the demon possessed. These are psychopaths, and that psychopath conduct is underway. This is demonic activity inside of your neighborhood Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, this is prosecuted as what is the harassment that it is. while those are people who are walking around with literally dead spirits inside of them. That is demon possession, okay? This is the spirit of Satan acting over a people simultaneously, engaging in what is criminal conduct. This is surveillance while the light source is remaining over me at Dunkin' Donuts, located at 355 South Mountain Avenue in Upland, California. That is not remaining anywhere near the Senior Center, the 280 North Lemon Apartments, remaining over me coming from the B&G Plaza as I documented, okay? That's where I started out. That's where I walked to. And at 9:02 a.m., I'm showing you the fake sun over me at the Ovid Family Community Library venue, where then I go to what is the Upland Public Library, and going specifically north of Euclid Avenue. And that is documented conduct. So I want to be clear at 9:02 a.m., which is just the moment that I capture video. My receipt sheet showing my times of purchase, which is at 8:42 a.m. Let me be clear, the state's fake sun remains over me upon my arrival. I captured video of it so you can see it. But let me be clear, the state's fake sun is present over me en route. So this is in every way the light source that is not the actual sun, not possibly the sun. This is the presence of Satan, and the presence of Satan through the people of the state who are demon-possessed, engaging in the conduct of psychopaths, keeping their backs to me as though they're focused on eating donuts or whatever it is that you're doing inside of a Dunkin' Donuts, while this light activity, which is directed light, is being shot on me inside of the restaurant. And you are looking at what are third parties who are stalking in the path, engaging in that demonic activity. This is the conduct of Satan, by the way, and this is that third-party conduct, and it does not matter what their name is. You don't need to know their names. You're understanding how that system operates, and that is prosecuted as the surveillance that it is. It is also terrorism. You do not have to speak to a terrorist or know that terrorist's name. You know them actually by the environment that you're surrounded by, all right, and that abnormal environment that you remain subject to. So you have what is the state touching me with directed light while I'm sitting inside of the venue of Dunkin' Donuts at 355 South Mountain Avenue in Upland, California, and I just stepped outside at 9:02 a.m. to show you what is the fake sun directly above the building of Dunkin' Donuts at 355 South Mountain Avenue in Upland, California, which, by the way, the ongoing conduct with the directed light is consistently tethered to what is the following over my head, over whatever building I'm inside of, with that which is not possibly the sun as well. And so that is speaking to what is already also established as that ongoing method of demonic stalking with light. And indeed, the light source is captured directly over the building of the Upland Dunkin' Donuts at 355 South Mountain Avenue. So this is speaking to that ongoing P.O.C. The very table that I'm sitting at inside of the Dunkin' Donuts on surveillance camera. You're looking at what are demons that are walking around pursuant to what I'm doing. They're walking around while the state is engaging in directed light being aimed inside of the venue on me across the table where I am as I go and make a purchase, looking up at the menu, across the wall space, wherever it is I am, following around inside of the venue with that directed light. Okay, that's the prosecution for what is terrorism. These are demons engaging in that conduct. And then you'll have which is what I captured, demons that are maintaining presence. You see their communication devices. That's what they're focused on. They're monitoring. And their form for stalking is being present, engaging in whatever is relevant to that particular venue. All right. Oh, I'm just present ordering a hot dog from Wiener Schnitzel. All right. Where the fake sun is right over your head while you're in that drive-through. All right. So this is why you're understanding how that system works, how public corruption is existing in plain sight, and the reliance on that superficial form for what is none other than stalking on behalf of a government that is engaging in what is state surveillance and terrorism. It is currently 9:13 a.m. and the state is engaging in that ongoing conduct. I did document those that are maintaining, but like I said, this is a system. So you're talking about what is beyond Dunkin' Donuts, first of all. And you're also understanding what is the maintenance of systematic monitoring. Everyone in traffic, everyone at work, wherever it is that they are in relevant position. First of all, understand that's how prominent demon possession is. Satan is present and Satan's minions surround. That's why that which is not the sun is over my head, over the building. And that is exactly what follows. Okay, you're understanding demonic activity. And this demonic activity is linked to what is criminal conduct. All right, that I am revealing, and those that are engaging in just nothing other than systematic presence, a demon swapping position. It's the same demonic entity entering in one body after another, if you will, as you're understanding both the criminal system of surveillance with communication devices and the demonic activity that's underway. All right, it's currently 9:14 a.m. This is P.O.C. All right, capturing more still images for where you see third parties who I'm capturing in relevant position. They are maintaining presence in relevant position inside of the venue. Minions are in relevant position while the state is aiming directed light across the table and across the wall space right here where I'm sitting at the table. While they are driving out of the parking lot, that's a stalker that is crossing path while light is being aimed onto me inside of the building. Backwards while that vehicle is driving. Through the parking lot, by the way. They are doing the same thing inside while they walk to and from the bathroom. It's a means of crossing path while the state is also aiming light. They are inside of the bathroom stalking Okay, maintaining presence while the state is engaging in that light activity, and I remain molested with directed light. I took pictures of what is the Dunkin' Donuts cup. Let me be clear, the cup has 4 shadows going in 4 opposite directions in all 4 corners. And I took a picture of that. I took a picture of the Dunkin' Donuts coffee mug. I took a picture of my hand. You can see the multiple shadows. This is impossible light activity. This is demonic, okay? This is the pattern of conduct that is underway for what is surveillance, that engineered light, which is an entirely demonic method. You're understanding what demonic activity manifests itself as before your eyes, and it is an environment that you are surrounded by and not paying attention to. I want to be clear. And it is also revealing what is you are subject to, which is monitoring specifically via communication devices. Okay, it's 9:24 a.m. and this is again the Mountain Square Plaza is across the street. They're in relevant position. But this plaza that where Dunkin' Donuts is inside, it's anchored by, I believe, CVS. There is the mobile that's across the street on the opposite side of what I believe is 7th Street. This is the same venue that I've heavily documented before. But I want to be clear, the entity is surrounding me with activity, placing the fake sun over me. This is where Satan is focused. This is where Satan's minions are focusing conduct. All right? The elements of monitoring is what the demon-possessed are engaging in. It's demonic activity, and it is achieving a criminal objective, and that is monitoring with communication devices. And that's why you have impossible light activity inside of what is supposedly your ordinary Dunkin' Donuts shop. The demon-possessed work there. And the demon-possessed know exactly who you are. Satan itself is hovering over the building. That is what is relevant to the documentation of what is not possibly the sun as it remains over me. And then you have the ongoing directed light, which is impossible no matter where you are, no matter where the light source that's supposedly the sun or the actual sun. But like I said, revealing that which is not the actual sun. Let me be clear. The sun as we know it is not actually a real thing. It's something that we have been taught about, something you've been told about, and the reality is that does not exist. A fake sun, as you are understanding it, as you witness it, as you become made aware of that, that is the ongoing evidence of what is not the sun, contrary to what you have been told about. And that doesn't change. So the light source that was over me in Pomona, in other words, that's clear evidence of not possibly being the sun over my head as I remain in the city of Pomona. That is ongoing. Direct evidence of what is continuously relevant on a day-to-day basis. Understanding the environment that you are in, understanding what you are subject to while you're in that specifically maintained environment, which is also very demonic. It is the presence of Satan itself. That's how that impossible occurrence of what is not the sun is over me, and also not the sun as we know it, not the sun that we know, that we understand, that we the single exclusive star, right? It's not hovering over both of our heads at the same time in whatever state that you are in. It's not even hovering over you in the same city that we are in while it's directly over me at Dunkin' Donuts. And that's how exclusive that documentation is. It's not over me while I'm facing the senior center at the Ovid Family Community Library. It's not over that property. It's directly over the Dunkin' Donuts, just like you see. All right. And the entity engaging in that pattern where the fake sun is over me, directed light is also surrounding. This is demonic, and this is demonic activity, and it's criminal conduct. I just want to speak to what is the maintenance. You have a Dunkin' Donuts employee monitoring by stalking in the bathroom right now. They are alternating with third parties who are just entering in, taking their turns, engaging in demonic stalking conduct, and doing so walking through, exiting the bathroom pursuant to the P.O.C. It's a means of crossing path. It's a means of loitering in relevant position. And I want to be clear, while I am in the bathroom, which is a private space, I'm subject to this ongoing system. So that video that I captured, again, at 9:02 a.m., that is that is documentation of what is federal stalking by an entity in the bathroom, because the same fake sun is over the bathroom. That is subject to surveillance while you're pulling your panties up and down, demons surrounding, knowing exactly what you're doing, engaging in this demented system while you are in that indisposed space, genitalia exposed, engaging in that private activity. Okay, it is 9:27 a.m. These are psychopaths that surround, and this is documenting more than just Dunkin' Donuts. This entire shopping plaza, the law enforcement are engaging in monitoring. This is what the entity is doing as one. Law enforcement remain engaged in the state system of surveillance. And so it's 9:28 a.m. and this is P.O.C. All right, what I'm capturing in still images, this is demonic pacing. Should be the light activity. So you have demons that are walking back and forth, and their form for pacing is they're going to get napkins, they're getting their drinks, their orders are being announced, and they're going to pick up their whatever it is that they are ordering from. They're pacing back and forth, walking to and from crossing path repeatedly in directed light. They are also maintaining presence, as I show you, the two that are sitting in front of me, which is loitering in relevant position while the state is engaging in the repeated act of aiming light. This is while they're listening to me document. These are psychopaths that are monitoring the documentation for the prosecution. And they are doing so while the state is engaging in crossing path vehicles behind them where there's never going to be any light shooting into buildings, okay? This is the ongoing pattern of conduct that you've already seen this. It's occurring inside, and these are demons that are pacing around, okay? And so that's what they're doing inside, and that's what I'm capturing image of. It's the demonic activity that I'm showing you, and that's why I'm showing you that. All they're doing is pacing in engineered light, for shadows. So you are not walking by, you're crossing path. All right, it's 9:34 a.m. Alrighty, good. License 5VQJ539. We have a parking lot full of third parties, which I can go out and document. 76608K1, 6MOP600, 7JVX730, 7EEY733, 8BKG524, 5PLK913, 8E88G01, that's paper, 050Z1, that's handicap, 8WYB102, 8VYW116, 8MBJ445, ST8RIDA. This is a blackface minion stalking a demon, 8WHB754, carrying a little baby in the backseat. But let me be clear with regard to demonic activity, there's nothing adorable or cute about the demon possessed, and you're also learning it has nothing to do with your age. Those are tactics of Satan, by the way. Using what is age, using what is your physical appearance, using whatever it is your status is. These are demons playing positions. But like I said, that's P.O.C. while they are pacing in and past me while sitting inside of the cafe. Those are just some of the third parties. I can literally walk outside and document every single last one of those license plates. There's a time for that, though. It's currently 9:35 a.m. This is ongoing demonic activity, just giving you some of those. They are all sitting around in the parking lot and drive-thrus, maintaining presence inside of this venue and around the venue, while concentrating demons are focusing together on where I am and what I'm doing. All right, and that's the ongoing terrorism by government, who is a demon-possessed entity that's engaging in this satanic targeting system. They're concentrating with regard to communication devices, monitoring, all right? And that's the reality of what they're doing. That's why you have that. You have what is a demon that is crossing path, playing loud music, and in doing so while they are a demon that is focused on monitoring and terrorizing me with a baby in the backseat. So I just want to be clear with regard to the priorities of demons. In doing so, that's relevant to also, it's 9:36 a.m. Also, while I am walking outside documenting, that is speaking to the ongoing pattern of conduct. It's 9:36 a.m. I did walk back into the venue. I just wanted to get some license plates. These demons that are inside pacing around me are monitoring with the demons who I'm reciting the license plate. They're engaged in nothing but surveillance, and that's P.O.C. That is directed light on the wall over there. Impossible light, the movement of a vehicle from out there. All right, that's flashing light on the wall. This is direct light. This is what I showed you, for example, on the wall of Metro 102 outside while the fake someone is over me on Plum at approximately 8:51 a.m. That's P.O.C. And this is what the entity is molesting me with while I sit over here at this table. Okay, that's impossible light activity. That's demonic activity, and I am subject to what is surveillance while the people of the state are patrolling inside of this environment in that impossible light. It's again 11:32 a.m. P.O.C. All right, license plate 7NNK391. Touching while I'm inside, and how are demons and how is the government itself touching you physically, and that is with that directed light. All right, these are demons that are pacing around. 7ZOZ077, and that is why that directed light that you see inside of the building of the Dunkin' Donuts, while that which is not even the sun, it is not even reasonably contended as the sun, while it is remaining over me in the city of, for example, Fontana, as documentation is already published, revealing remaining over the specific edge of the apartment buildings of 280 North Limit Apartments as I remain at Ovid Family Community Library, including into the afternoon. 8GY YH924. And you have what is crossing path as the demons that surround. These are not normal people. These are people with the spirit of Satan on them. This is demonic activity. And that's why you have what is not the actual sun. That is Satan itself, as you are observing what is, as you understand it, supposedly your natural environment. And it is supernatural, what you're witnessing. 64002X1. And that's how you have what is impossible light activity, as I have termed it, flashing and moving across on a wall inside of a building, while that which is supposed to be the sun is above that building. And there is no vantage point where any light, any movement under that light is going to create that horizontally projected, directed light. All right, that's demonic activity that you're witnessing. It's currently 1 p.m. and the state's fake sun remains over the Dunkin' Donuts at 355 South Mountain Avenue. And this is documentation of what is the revealing of demonic activity. Let me be clear. The state's placement of the fake sun, not only am I showing you by hour and minute, 7VZB781, where I'm, for example, remaining at the Open Public Library yesterday, but you are understanding common sense in the additional regard. The state's fake sun is right now, as I captured at 9:02 in the morning, more westward in its location above me at Dunkin' Donuts than it is setting where it's at the B&G Plaza and where it's in alignment with me at the Oba Family Community Library. Okay, you already know that that's not the sun at 3:57 p.m. in alignment with the venue where I am present at yesterday, 9:02 in the morning. But again, remaining over a specific address all day long. This is all I'm doing is documenting and showing what is a matter of common sense. That's not the actual sun. You have what, and it's not possibly the sun. And you also have what is, again, the documentation January 23rd, which is what I'm using to prosecute, as you see the demons of the Ontario Police Department under the fake sun at 8:25 in the morning, where they are monitoring me with a third party under that fake sun. That's the same B&G Plaza where the state's fake sun is documented as a matter of published record. That same B&G Plaza, which is at the end of the day, January 23rd, 2022. So, like I said, it's currently 1:02 p.m. All right, and I did document on video just so you can see at 1:02 p.m., which is a specific time that I chose to illustrate that ongoing consistent impossibility of that being the sun that's over me, and the ongoing consistent revealing of what is demonic activity and demonic conduct by a government and a people of the state, which is what is, I'm revealing terrorism in the United States, while we are indeed subject to what is surveillance. And it's surveillance by a government that's not doing it by itself. You are being subject to surveillance without your consent, without your knowledge, where the people of the state, the people of this country, supposedly American citizens, in direct opposition of what is the Constitution, that is the founding documents of this country, are monitoring, all right, invading your privacy, invading your constitutional rights, invading your, more than invading, literally obliterating your constitutional and human rights, okay? And so, like I said, that's what is the ongoing substance, the overall substance, the larger picture with regard to what I'm documenting. In addition to, this is serving for what is a prosecution and the establishment of what is necessary policy, and you're understanding what is terrorism as it is underway in the United States, okay? So you're talking about how the United States would like to juxtapose itself, or contrast rather, itself with other third world countries that are less civilized, and I put that in air quotes. I am being facetious because we actually indeed are not. And it is absolutely demonic with regard to the ways in which this government is engaging in that hypocrisy, in direct violation of what it represents, and by it I mean this country, what we represent ourselves as on the world stage, amongst our allies and amongst our supposed international enemies, all right? And doing so while engaging in what is the unfathomable level of invading the basic human rights of any American citizen, and doing so with those who are literally constituents of the country. All right, that is how the government is doing it. The government's not doing it to the ignorance of those that live in this country who are calling themselves American citizens bound by a constitution, right? Which is, you're talking about what is the government that's doing it in concert with the people. All right, and so you're talking about what are a people that are fully engaging in what is an ongoing perpetual act of hypocrisy and criminal conduct, while they are acting in direct opposition to what are bodies of law that exist in this country. That's what's different between our country and another third world country, where they don't have any expectation of having some legal right or some expectation of the government to engage in or not engage in certain things, where you have some in other words, some grounds to assume that you have rights against this government, all right? This is different in the United States. This is criminal conduct because it is in violation of what is existing law, and it is revealing what is public corruption as it is employed by a government itself that is doing it in concert with the very people of the state. And so I want to be clear, this is Satan itself. This is demonic activity engaging in this criminal system. For example, the light source that is over me, it is not only relevant that it's not the sun, that is relevant to what is monitoring with communication devices. This use of light, this ongoing perpetual presence in the path while light is present, while ongoing activity creation is maintained. And so this is audible activity, sensational activity, and or light activity. These are the elements of monitoring. That is also what is demonic conduct. All right, demons are engaging in what is the surrounding another, not of that mutual condition. All right, demons are targeting the other. All right, well, let me be clear, by the other, because actually demons are the other. These are the freaks. They are animals. You cannot see their disgusting and nauseating form that they are in the spirit. They literally are the living dead. It has been caricaturized for you on movies. For example, you see the living dead with their clothes falling off their body. They look all dirty. They're carrying their heads in their hands, and they're talking like they're gibberish. They can't speak. That is a caricaturization of the living dead. This is the living dead, driving a Maserati, riding around on a motorcycle under what is not possibly the sun. That is Satan itself that is present in the environment. Satan is not only exercising control over the environment, that exercise of control is mutually revealed in what are the people who are surrounding. Surrounding is called relevant positioning. Relevant positioning is for purposes of what is surveillance that is underway in that specifically maintained environment. It is supernatural and it is criminal. That supernatural aspect is seen wherever it is that you are, and you're looking above you, and you are looking at what is supposed to be the sun as you understand it. It is not possibly the sun while I am yet again on another day in an entirely distinct location where that which is not the sun necessarily so over my head at a specific address and remaining, okay? Engaging in incremental movement, to the right of the building, which is supposed to be westward movement of the sun. That is no conduct of the sun. The sun is actually, as a matter of what would be predictable presence, is in no way in conformity to anything that's already been documented, let alone this is also exclusive with regard to what is specific standard time. This is also regarding what is also not the sun when you're looking at that abnormal light, which I also documented, not only today, but I've documented this particular venue before. That is directed light. That is a method of stalking with light. It is relevant to what is terrorism, while the demon-possessed are surrounding. That is the conduct of Satan, or the conduct of pacing around, which I have shown. I gave a sample of what is demonic pacing. The people of the state who are demon-possessed are walking back and forth and back and forth. How is this demonic activity appropriated for what you are looking at? One who is ignorant of what is going on around you, you are thinking that people are walking around going to pick up their coffee, and then going back to their seat, and going back up as their food is announced to come pick up their donut, and then going back to their seat, and then going back to the counter to go get a napkin, and then going back to their seat. Oh, and then going to get another napkin because they need another one, right? And then going back to their seat, and then going back to what is walking toward the restroom, while another who was already in the restroom is then walking out at the same time. This is pacing. You have what is then walking back to the table. Wherever they are sitting inside, they are crossing path. You have those that are remaining stationary, sitting all around you, those who are engaging in ongoing movement in what is engineered light. This is creation of activity, while also the demonic environment is also maintained while Star Trek light activity is ongoing. Movement of light, shooting of light, absolutely impossible light, while you have what are psychopaths engaging in what is pacing. You are pacing in that directed light. You are entirely stalking in that environment. You are monitoring with communication devices in that engineered light. You are a sex offender that is also engaging in that P.O.C. in any private space, including the bathroom. Like I said, the exclusivity of the placement of the light source over 355 South Mountain Avenue is speaking to what is the exclusion of any other location, including the Ovid Family Community Library. It is already published as a matter of record, even before 2022. You're talking about 2021, 2020, 2019. The state's fake sun, 2021, for example, even let's use today, February 6, 2022. Guess where the state's fake sun is setting? That is Satan itself. It's not the sun. The fake sun is captured in perfect alignment with the Ovid Family Community Library, just like I capture on January 29, 2022. Where that entity at Ovid Family Community Library that are demon-possessed and are engaging in state surveillance, and you're understanding the ways in which the demon-possessed that are engaging in surveillance are also engaging in terrorism, while they are monitoring the fact that you are documenting using communication devices, publishing it on the internet, aware of the fact that you are being monitored and followed by an entity, which is group stalking, while they are aware of all of this, engaging in criminally summoning law enforcement, who are demons, in that same impossible light, which is after 4 p.m. I'm sorry, 3 p.m., 3:47 p.m., 3:57 p.m., as I've documented at the Ovid Family Community Library. And like I've stated, you have what is the light source that is in the morning today over 355 South Mountain Avenue. Take a look at a map. The location of the fake sun in the morning today is well beyond, with regard to what is west. You're talking about what is the asinity that the entity is acting with regard to what is no form. What the entity is doing under a fake sun, what Satan is doing in the form of what's supposed to be the sun over my head, but I'm documenting it because that's a fake sun over your head too. With regard to what is not possibly the sun as we know it, is literally, it's not only ridiculous, it's unintelligent, it's unsophisticated, it is contrary to that which we have been taught for a purpose, all right, to not be aware of actually what is going on in the environment around you. And so you have what is the placement of the fake sun at 355 South Mountain Avenue in the city of Upland, which is already west beyond the location where it remains for the duration of the day. And it is indeed a duration of a day where the light source is captured at 9 o'clock in the morning, and that is after I have documented it remaining over me from the location where I'm getting up in the morning and then going to, for example, the B&G Plaza, remaining there, and then walking to the Ovid Family Community Library. The state is keeping the fake sun over me the entire time in one city, from place to place, but identifying one particular venue where the documentation is showing remaining at one single address for the duration of the day. This location at 355 South Mountain Avenue is west of that location, and in no way coexisting. The state's fake sun is in perfect alignment with that entrance, and that's supposed to be the form of what is sunlight pushing farther and farther in through the entrance, underneath the structure, through the depths of the library, behind that thick wall that is separating the entrance and the hallway, into the depths where the elevator, wrapping around into the floor, onto the elevator and behind that wall. That is all of the light activity that I've documented over Family Community Library. And while I step out of the entrance and show you at 4 p.m. and then leave from Ovid Family Community Library, even that, and go to B&G Plaza where I'm showing you the sun, which is supposedly setting. This is supposedly a sunset at the same B&G Plaza where I documented yesterday the Ontario police under that fake sun at 8:25 in the morning. 8:25 in the morning, and you have what is the remaining on the same block with the light source at Ovid Family Community Library, remaining in the same shopping plaza. Because that's exactly what that is, while you're in perfect alignment with me, touching me with directed light, aiming it onto the Ontario Town Square townhomes, as though that single building of the Ontario Town Square townhomes is going to have any such light on it whatsoever. That is called precise aiming of light. That's why it is termed directed light. All right. And it is absolutely impossible. And this is also, again, the inability to confront documentation, because in 2021, where I am sleeping at the museum and waking up at the museum, the state is placing its fake sun with what is tantamount to being over the museum while you're aiming it on me from the B&G Plaza, in alignment with the same B&G Plaza. At no time of day, for example, let me correct that. It is not any time of day. On no day is the actual sun remaining over a single address going to remain physically present. The object itself is going to remain physically present when you are supposedly present over the entire, moving around and engage in ongoing movement. And that is contrary to what you are actually being told. What we are told about the sun as we know it defies common sense. It is, and also not a matter of just defying common sense. You're talking about what is actually impossible to be one sun. All right, that is not the actual sun as we know it, and that's what I mean by fake sun. You are indeed, though, looking at a light source that is not mutually, again, present, remaining over me, over one building, to the street, to remain over the building. It's not moving from 9:02 a.m. to 1:02 p.m. That is called that negligent movement in the direction that's supposed to be attributed as the westward movement of the sun, while while it's remaining over the parking lot today in Upland. That is to the exclusion of it being what is at 355 South Mountain Avenue. That would be what is east of, and substantially east of even the area of the B&G Plaza of the and it's not just east, it would be northeast. With regard to just taking a look at a map, it is not in perfect alignment. It's not a straight shooting line from, and by line I mean a straight line, You're talking about B&G Plaza, Ovid Family Community Library, and where I am at the Dunkin' Donuts, where the state is keeping a fake sun from time of arrival as a matter of video documentation that you can see, 9:02 a.m. and 1:02 p.m. Where again, yesterday I remain at the Upland Public Library. This is the impossibility of that. It is witnessing the supernatural presence of what is not possibly the sun that is both over me and over the Ovid Family Community Library, as is already documented. Remaining over me in one city, in one parking lot, all right, not moving, and remaining over anyone else in literally even in Los Angeles County. It is not coexisting over the same sky space. You see the light source right there. You see that impossible light that's being aimed into the building. You see the ongoing stalking conduct while the people of the state are driving around, and flashing light is the current directed light, which is the pattern of conduct. You see what are the 1, 2, 3, 4 shadows of the cups that I have sitting on the table, my multiple shadows of my hand. This is speaking to the concentrated presence, the exclusive presence of what is not the sun remaining at a venue, and it is to the exclusion revealing what is not possibly the sun that is over you, because it is not over any sky space in any other state, let alone in any other county. It is revealing what is by necessity more than one light source in the sky, which is not possibly the sun, and it is indeed referred to properly as what is a fake sun. This fake sun documentation, this directed light documentation, this demonic activity by the people of the state, this is revealing what is demonic activity. This is revealing what is the demon possessed. And they are, again, not walking around carrying their heads in their hands, looking outwardly and obviously like the living dead. All right, that's a caricature. The living dead are in what is an entirely demonic environment. They are under what is Satan itself, which is the light source, which is present in the environment. The fake sun is nothing other than something that you can see with your eyes, and you are understanding the presence of Satan through that physical form that you can see. All right, because spirit you cannot see. All right, but the impossibility of this object that's in the sky that is not what we understand to be the sun, you are seeing what is essentially the invisible, and that is Satan itself that is present. The demon possessed are also revealing to you, while their demonic outward conduct and the demonic environment that they are in, it is revealing the invisible, which is the presence of Satan. These are the demon possessed engaging in that conduct. That's relevant to what is the prosecution as terrorism, and that's exactly what this is, while you are being followed around with a light source that is not possibly the sun, and then this demented entity that is then monitoring, engage in obsessive stalking of everything that you say and do at all times of day, all right, at every location, including anyone whose name you know, who you may be related to. This is the reality of demonic activity. It does not matter that Satan is using a little girl, a young child, or a little boy, or a minion who is a parent carrying their baby. This is demonic activity. And it doesn't change the fact that there are multiple shadows while that demon is carrying a baby in their arm. It doesn't change that the fake sun is over my head while that demon is pushing a stroller. It doesn't matter that the directed light is shooting horizontally through buildings, moving around, touching all over your body, like is the heavily documented pattern of conduct, while that minion is bearing nothing but a company logo and engaging in the same exact elements that are accomplishing monitoring with communication devices. All right, even doing so through what are employees outwardly appearing. All right. And by outwardly appearing, I'm not saying that they're not actually engaging in what is work that they're being paid for on an hourly basis. That's not relevant to what is demonic activity. And it's also not relevant to what is state surveillance that is underway. That's what public corruption is. All right. That's why that environment follows everywhere that I go, while that ongoing systematic surveillance and terrorism remains underway. There is no form. There certainly is no form while that light source is not possibly coexisting and remaining, which at no time is the actual sun even remaining over a single address all day. But nonetheless, that's documented. And so you are bound by that. At no time is it ever going to be over Dunkin' Donuts. Recall, since January 23rd, 2022, essentially, when I'm showing you on the fake sun over me on Mountain Avenue at the Ontario Plaza, which is this is the same street, Mountain Avenue, and you have what is the state's fake sun that is exceeding north beyond that Ontario Plaza, first of all, and then also remaining well before on January 23rd, you have what is the state's light source that remains over me at 630 North Fern. Remains south of this location over the specific plaza, the Ontario Plaza. Remains over the back parking lot of that super clean laundry. This is not just some relative presence. In the same way I'm showing you at 10:09 a.m., it is very specific and very specifically impossible. This is why I capture it pursuant to the time, pursuant to even relevant to time of year, and even going to showing you what is the back parking lot, for example, the Upland Public Library, and that is not coexisting with regard to being over my head at the Dunkin' Donuts, let alone remaining. And then the day prior, you're talking about May
excuse me, not May. Talking about February 4th, 2022. I engaged in all manner of movement. I remain at the B&G Plaza. I didn't come anywhere. And the fake sun, as I'm facing south of the B&G Plaza, is not even in the direction, which I pointed out so many times. It is not also behind my head while I'm facing forward and I'm looking at the object right over my head. And you also know that is not the case, because when I'm facing in that direction, the light source is not even in that direction. In other words, it's not both in my face while I'm facing south and then also in the north behind me. That's ridiculous, right? And that's clearly what you see in video and in images. In the same way, it is also not maintaining what is ubiquitous presence, and you know that because the light source moves as I move. That's following with a light source that is not even possibly the sun. Right? So like I said, these are all the ways in which you are looking at that. And this is revealing what is the prosecution of the people of the state. Dunkin' Donuts is nothing but a method of presence on behalf of a government. It is the people of the state acting through what is a company name. Right? Dunkin' Donuts is identification of what is the people of the state and all the ways in which the people of the state are engaged in what is state-sponsored terrorism. And that's what surveillance is, where it is also that satanic system. And this is at its conception. You're talking about this is from the pit of hell. This is Satan that intended to use the fallacy of free society in our particular country. All right, having you believe one thing about your environment that surrounds you, having you believe what is the absolute free society, have it however you want it. All right, that's what we say in the U.S. That's supposedly how it is. All right, everybody's got their own handle, everybody's got their own Facebook, everybody gets it whatever you want, or whatever you want to do. It's the American dream. Maintaining that fallacy, that is a part of the design at its inception. All right, and by inception, this is contrived in the pits of hell. It's satanic in every regard. This directed light is satanic. It's revealing the presence of Satan. It's revealing the conduct of Satan. All right, this fake sun, it is satanic. It is literally stalking with a light source that is not possibly the sun. And that, by the way, again, has nothing to do with any notion. It is absolutely irrelevant to what you have been told about things such as global warming. Global warming has nothing and in no way addresses what is the dilemma of what is supposed to be a sun that's both on the East Coast and or the South, however you want to refer to it, Florida, over their sky space. And I'm showing you what is documentation, which you cannot get around with regard to remaining over me many days at one single address all day long, showing what is the unmistakable non-movement. Remaining over the building and then moving to the street, which is less than literally 5 steps away from the building, is not movement of the sun. It's not even the sun when it's remaining over a different address, as I document specifically on purpose, because this is a pattern of conduct that is intended to be disbelieved. All right, but for documentation. All right, the Satan itself, the demons of the people that are the people of the state, cannot in any way get around documentation. All right, and so like I said, revealing that, and you are looking at it for yourself, there is no reconciliation of that documentation, which is relevant to what is going on in the state of Texas. It's relevant to what's going on in the state of Maine. It's relevant to what's going on in the state of New York. It's relevant to what's going on in the state of Arizona. It's relevant to what's going on in Northern California, because guess what? It's a sunny day at the beach, but the actual sun is not over the beach. It's not possibly over the beach. Name any beach, okay? Balboa Beach, Long Beach, Venice Beach. All right, any beach you want to name in San Diego, the actual sun itself, that object is not possibly over that. And why? Because there's only one sun. And that supposed single sun is remaining over me in a single parking lot. In direct conflict with remaining over specifically placed locations. That's what's so profound about my documentation. It's not just in the sky space. The state that is Satan itself places the fake sun right over the edge of the 280 North Limit Apartments. That's very specific. And then you keep it there all day long, like then it's remaining, as though the actual sun would even do that. Asininity. Okay, but it just makes it easy for me to document and explain demonic activity to you and understand the prosecution for what's terrorism in the U.S. Then keeping it in alignment with that same address, 215 East C Street, all right, Ovid Family Community Library, a sex offending entity acting on behalf of the government, all right, hostile because it's known and because it's been documented and published, and you're talking about what is grounds for federal prison, as I have also documented that. While the state is keeping that light source, which is not possibly the sun, in alignment with that door, so low that it's aiming what's supposedly sunlight. That's supposedly sunlight. Underneath the structure, oh, that's a very low hanging light source. But also remember, on January 1st, 2022, that was supposedly the sun. What else is that? That's supposedly the sun that's remaining in perfect alignment with me at 4:27 p.m. Present 8 in the morning, 4:27 p.m. in perfect alignment with a single vehicle on one street. Okay, that is speaking to what is the ongoing documentation, which is showing a continuity of purpose and that absolute impossibility with regard to what is this light source that is over me. All right, which is not only impossible, it is speaking to what is the maintenance of light for an ongoing criminal purpose. All right, because the demon possessed are not only demented freaks that are in this environment. The demon possessed engage in what is this ongoing studying and focus and maintenance of communication devices. All right, that was the first thing that I noticed amongst strangers who were following me around. All right, they are monitoring with communication devices. This is state surveillance. And so you have what is the entity engaging in this state surveillance and maintaining a lot of fakes. I'm not even addressing what's going on in Fontana. All right, the state is keeping its fake sun over me as a matter of documentation in the city of Fontana, not just in the city of Fontana, though, which, by the way, it's not going to be present in the sky space in Fontana when it's remaining. The sun is not an ubiquitous object, meaning it is not maintaining perpetual presence over all of our heads, because take it out of what is going on with me. All right, even though I'm documenting what the entity is doing, keeping it over me, I'm subject to surveillance, but this is the sun. And this is supposed to be the figment of the imagination of some paranoid schizophrenic. So the actual sun is not maintaining ubiquitous presence over everyone's head, everywhere that you're going. It is impossible. The only thing that does that is the sky. And you know that also because the sun is supposedly engaging in what is in orbit, moving constantly, day and night, time of year, right? This is the analysis, and this is that which is applicable. That the whole theory of what is global warming, the engagement in what is the ongoing harshness of the natural environment as we know it. And you're thinking it's just the one single sun that's just getting closer and closer, hovering over us. And there is by necessity, that is not one sun. That's not the explanation for what you're witnessing. It's Satan itself. That does not want you to know that it's Satan, okay? And also, it's in revealing Satan, you're revealing what is Satan, who is present to the people who surround. And demon possession is very, very, very prevalent, okay? Like I said, far and wide, many are going to what are the depths of Hades. All right, when they're already living, they are the living dead, and when they die, there is nothing to look forward to. They're literally, to be living your life consumed with somebody else, because that's what you're doing. You're monitoring me. And you have the spirit of Satan on you. You are entirely obsessed, all right? And that is an entirely pathetic existence, and that's exactly what Satan's concern is, and that's exactly what Satan's minions' concern is. You have what are minions who not only know they're being documented, but also are seeking to maintain that cover and not reveal that boat is sailed. I'm revealing everything, including I'm going to prosecute you for the criminal conduct you're engaging in. But nonetheless, you have what are minions that want to maintain some sense of normalcy, especially in the U.S., especially in California, okay? But they're not at all. I'm literally showing you the video walking to the bathroom door and then walking back is called pacing. That's a psychopath that's walking back and forth. Picture Pac-Man hitting the wall, going back and forth over and over again. That's what pacing is. That's what demons do. They're doing it in engineered light, and you are seeing the fake sun that's over the building. Standing all around is called loitering in relevant position. They're just standing all around, and they're all stalking together, and that's just inside of the building. Okay, you're talking about all of them are pacing around under the fake sun. It is the absence of normalcy. It is the absence of normal society. It is the absence of civilization. These are animals, okay? So like I said, anyway, with regard to what I captured, it's currently 1:31 p.m. and I went through that, and the entity engaging in ongoing interstate stalking, also monitoring, trying to stutter internet, trying to stop I'm going to publish all of it, but I'm documenting what is interstate stalking. The entity is indeed maintaining an environment, which is the direct evidence. It is insurmountable. That is not the sun, and that's not even the sun that will be remaining anywhere. It would never be present, because I've shown you the documentation where it's remaining in perfect alignment with me at the B&G Plaza while I'm sitting on the bus bench, okay, while I'm standing inside of Shiro's Liquor. That's not in perfect alignment. It's not even in the direction of what is north upward Mountain Avenue, remaining over. At what point in the day is it there? And then it's the same thing when I went to Pomona in the morning on January 30th, again for the second time. That's much, much west. It's Los Angeles County, and the state returned with the fake sun, setting it on Ontario on that specific street, Hope Boulevard, where I am. That's what the significance of January 23rd is revealing. So when you're seeing the demons of the Ontario police with their police lights on, you're understanding what are demons in positions that they are to be snatched out of. They are dangerous psychopaths. All right? You're talking about what is criminal activity underway. Demonic activity is what you're witnessing. The absence of any credibility. And it is made bare before your eyes. And to make it more vivid, Look at the video again at 8:20, and that's just yesterday. I did the same thing with. I've done this actually. I've surrounded the entire entity with that evidence. But you have what is the fake son that you're looking right at it, and this is what I'm pointing out. When Officer Escobar, who's engaging in criminal defamation, he's going to be prosecuted for that while he's also engaging in terrorism, and while monitoring the documentation. That's a intentional communication of a threat while you know that I'm documenting you. All right. So this is speaking to all the ways you're going to legislate around Satan, because that is the intent of the demon possessed, and it is indeed Satan. All right, and that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with the demon possessed. You're in a demonic environment. This is state surveillance. This is disarming all those criminal tactics which are entirely malicious. All right, malicious is a synonymous under the law with regard to what is evil, and that's what demonic activity is. It's entirely demented. They're freaks that literally engage in pacing back and forth. These demons engage in pacing, doing it in a car, trying to look normal, going back and forth and picking up food while they're stalking at any sort of venue, trying to look normal while they're demons stalking and pacing around. That's all they're doing. All right. They're freaks of nature. And so I'm showing you what is the outward form that Satan relies for you to be distracted on. OK, including any manner of what is harassment while that pattern of conduct remains underway. There is no reconciling what is the light source, and that's exactly what you're remembering, what you are focusing on. And all those efforts to distract are legally relevant with regard to the methods employed in order to engage in the P.O.C. because Satan is mad that you're documenting it. That'll be prosecuted as well. But the elements control, that environment is being maintained, and that's for a reason. And it's an absolutely impossible environment, meaning it is unnaturally occurring. It is that which is supernatural, speaking to that which is an ongoing P.O.C., pattern of conduct, for what is federal group stalking and monitoring, as I have relied to it. As I have referred to it. Federal group stalking and monitoring is a title, actually, which is referencing the demon possessed, including that is the government that is demon possessed, engaging in employing this satanic targeting system. It is in reference to what is the demon possessed that are engaging in interstate stalking, federal stalking. Group stalking in and of itself, the conduct of demons act as a group. That's what group stalking is. It's in violation of what is federal law, which bans what is interstate stalking, federal stalking. And that's literally where that title came from, because that's what the entity is doing. That's what Satan is doing. American citizens are placed under surveillance, and you don't even know it, but you will know it because you can look at the light source, whatever is keeping it so hot outside. Well, I know it's keeping it so hot, but that's not the sun that's over you. All right, that's not the sun that's burning up, keeping that temperature that over whatever beach you're at. That's not the actual sun, and it's impossible to be the sun. You're witnessing what is the presence of Satan, what are presence of minions who are around, also relying on your ignorance. And why? As I show you yet again today, that which is supposedly the sun remaining, what would be northwest of the B&G Plaza, northwest of Ovid Family Community Library, and it is not in perfect alignment with the back parking lot of the Upland Public Library. It is not coexisting while I'm showing you it over the roof of the Upland Public Library. It is in no way coexisting with being over me while I'm facing south at 435 South Bondview. And then I walk from that property. It's not just that time. Again, remember, that documentation, when I'm giving you a specific time, the whole rest of the day is relevant. Where did I come from? And then I document it at a specific time. I just use that as another vivid example. Remember, I went from B&G Plaza on the 4th, and then I went to the Ovid Family Community Library, showing what is stalking the entire time with a fake sun. And then I went to what was Mercy House. And then I went from Mercy House, walking up Bondview, west on Hope Boulevard, passing over B&G Plaza, again, getting off the bus, going to Euclid Avenue. Never advancing to what is anywhere on Mountain Avenue. That was meaning never advancing westward to get toward what is Mountain Avenue, and also doing so at an earlier day. Yesterday, doing so going north of Euclid Avenue to get to Upland at an earlier hour. Didn't do any of that today. Arriving and remaining stationary using those same time frames, and it is relevant to what I was doing on those days, where I was coming from and where I was headed, all right, on those previous days. And then there's also the even bigger picture, the time of year. The state is engaging in acting as though the same light source, which is not possibly the sun, is also setting at these addresses, as I've documented. That's the ongoing surrounding with what is evidence of what is relevant to prosecution of a government, because this is a demonic targeting system, placing one under surveillance, one who is an American citizen under surveillance in violation of existing federal law, and seeking and understanding the ways in which additional federal legislation is absolutely necessary in order to deal with the beast that has never been contemplated by federal law. All right, and it has nothing to do with any sort of separation of religion and state. All right, this is criminal conduct by a government having no religious rights under the law, having no basis whatsoever, no right whatsoever to engage in placing an American citizen under surveillance, and that's exactly what this is. Doing so in concert with the people of the state who are not acting as individuals, they are acting on behalf of the government, i.e. the term vicarious presence, group stalking on behalf of the state. It is the state's pattern of conduct. There is no individual exercise of any First Amendment rights. You're not exercising any freedom of religion while you want to serve Satan, engaging in demonic activity, especially while you are terrorizing and violating the privacy of another, engaging in interstate stalking, which is in violation of federal law. In that regard as well, you are not exercising any individual right whatsoever. It doesn't exist. All right. And federal law needs to put that in black and white with regard to what Satan is doing through a government, Satan is doing through a people, and how in every regard it is that which is literally waiting to be placed on the books and enabling any ordinary target individual to prosecute a government that is doing this to you. Okay, and so, like I said, it's currently 1:38 p.m., and this is Dunkin' Donuts, where the state's fake sun remains over the venue, and it is the address again, 355 South Mountain Avenue, where I remain subject to that pattern of conduct, which is ceaselessly underway. That is P.O.C.
It's 6:01 p.m. License plate 7PNU138 5TAM 770 6UJP 843, and these are license plates of third parties who are in relevant position right now while engaging in what is group surveillance. These are demons that surround and all together know what I'm doing inside of the private space, which is the restroom. I also captured what is a demon that's a third party that is sitting in alignment to the bathroom. That's surveillance, relevant positioning. And I also showed you, took images of what is my shadow that's surrounding me, 8TQP881. That is as I walk out of the Dunkin' Donuts, where the state's fake sun, as I capture it, remains over this venue, which I capture on video at 9:02 p.m. The state then engages in conduct as though the sun is setting while I'm standing inside of the venue. That is over 7 hours later, 5TAM 770. That's captured at 4:50 p.m. And so, again, where this venue is located at 355 South Mountain Avenue, I want to be clear, not only is this that which is not coexisting with being present at the Ovid Family Community Library, and by being present, I mean the light source is over the 280 North Lemon Apartments, remaining even at the back of the library as I walk to the back of the library. I've documented that before. And then remaining at the entrance as I would walk out of the front entrance of the Ovid Family Community Library, and that includes after 3:07 p.m., 3:47 p.m., 3:57 p.m. as I documented as of late. But you have what is the state's fake sun that is over me in the city of Upland, and that there is no time where the actual sun is going to, like the entity engages in, as though the sun is remaining over one address and then incrementally moving while remaining over that address. That's what you're doing when you're over the roof, and then 2 hours later you're just at the street, right at the sidewalk beside the building, which is right next to the roof, and then 7 hours later at 4:50 p.m. you are literally over the restaurant that's on the opposite side of the parking lot, while aiming impossible light activity into the Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, you can literally see the address of 355 that is projected onto the wall, on the opposite wall of me, and you also have what is directed light as you are looking at the different methods. Earlier today at approximately 11:31, the method of directed light is flashing light. I mean, very vivid, demonic, and impossible light activity. The light that you see stretched onto the floor into the depths of the Dunkin' Donuts, that's nothing other than another tactic of the same impossible light activity after remaining for an excess of 7 hours after I captured it at 9:02 a.m. over the same venue. Aiming light into the same venue, the object of this sun itself is physically visible over the roof in alignment with the entrance, which, by the way, 355 South Mountain Avenue inside of the Mountain Green Plaza is not in alignment. It's not in a perfect line with the Ovid Family Community Library entranceway, by the way. The Ovid Family Community Library is not only is it in Ontario, you're talking about what is a very low hovering light source, and it's so low it's reaching into the building of Ovid Family Community Library. You're not even going to see that in the sky space in Upland over some parking lot, and it's not in some perfect line such that is coexisting. All right, I'm just speaking to common sense. This is what you are necessarily doing when you are aiming directed light inside of the depths of a building, as though that would be the sun remaining 7 hours later, still visible over the roof. It's just on the opposite side of the parking lot.
All right. And so these are sex offenders that are stalking in the path, engaging and monitoring me while they're completing purchases. That's what they're doing in the parking lot. That's why I have my shadow surrounding me while this Caucasian male is a third party. This is a demon that is maintaining presence while I'm inside of the bathroom, physical presence, and the ongoing impossible light remains. Again, that's 6UJP843. Monitoring with communication devices, and this is the sexually violent monitoring conduct. It is also sexually violent as the entity engages in an ongoing molestation. That is a perpetual sexual offense, touching the person repeatedly, ceaselessly, while monitoring with communication devices. It's also that which is entirely demonic. Okay, license NBK3315. That's a Texas license plate. Currently completing a purchase right now at 6:05 p.m. at the Dunkin' Donuts at 355 South Mountain Avenue. Like I was stating with regard to the state's fake son, and this is all documentation. This is the sex offender that I'm documenting their license plate. Again, let me repeat that. MBK3315, engaging in what is sexually violent surveillance in concert and on behalf of a government, where the light source, which is instrumental with regard to that ongoing group monitoring with communication devices in violation of Title 18, is remained as a matter of documentation, which I captured at 4:50 p.m. I captured it this morning directly over the building at 9:02 a.m. Again, 9:02 a.m. I'm in the city of Ontario. I am standing in the walkway where the Ovid Family Community Library is. It's not the same sky space. That's literally impossibility. In addition to 7 hours over the same address, impossibility. All right, 7GW 309. That is the sex offender again, MBK3315, crossing path, moving from the drive-thru while more directed light is aimed on me. Okay, and it is currently 6:06 p.m. So you have what is the entity aiming this directed light inside of Dunkin' Donuts, keeping the light source. I'm literally looking at it. I step out and I capture the fake sun in video. And as I sit inside of the venue, remaining in the video where I'm showing you that I'm sitting, I remain sitting there all day. And this is where you're looking at the images captured at 4:50 p.m. You're not only looking at what is impossible light activity as it's now being spread across the surfaces and projected into the Dunkin' Donuts specifically. You even see the trajectory of that light. It's at an angle to aim inside of that Dunkin' Donuts, which, by the way, is not going to exist with regard to Ovid Family Community Library. It's not going to be present over the S.I.I.S liquor. I'm not going to be able to stand inside of S.I.I.S liquor and see that light source like I captured, though, on January 23rd. Standing inside of S.I.I.S liquor, facing west, showing you what is that hovering light source, is not in alignment. It is not coexisting. The ability to do so at the same time on different days is not possible to do. All right, you're not going to be able to see that. I'm not going to be able to stand inside of S.I.I.S liquor and stand inside of Dunkin' Donuts at the same time, where this is supposedly the sun, and you're going to have that light activity. You're going to see the object of what's supposed to be the sun itself through the windows, all right, and having that light activity. You're looking at what is the pattern of stalking with light, and it's a demonic pattern. HCQP160, SWRVE1. All of these are demons. 62929F3. 6PXF007. And so 4:50 p.m. is the exact time that I captured on January 23rd, 2022, where the state kept its fake sun, again, at the Super Clean Laundry. And I show you in video as we go on Hope Boulevard, leaving Upland. I'm sorry, we don't even go to Upland. We remain in Ontario on January 23rd on Mountain Avenue. All right, this Upland is more north up Mountain Avenue. But like I said, nonetheless, you see the identical conduct of going street for street, turn for turn, which is not any ubiquitous presence of a light source. It is following with a light source and doing so in conflict with what it did on January 23rd. By the way, 7BWL574 molesting, 8GSR936 molesting, 8PLT994 molesting, and monitoring me while my panties are down inside of the bathroom, engaging in what is loitering in relevant position. This is surveillance while they're engaging in that ongoing sexual violence with Dunkin' Donuts, by the way. They're all monitoring together. They're all demons. They don't have to be wearing microphones talking about what is she doing with her panties. That's not how demonic activity works. And that's also not how this public corruption, this surveillance, state surveillance operates. You're talking about what is the outward appearance of ongoing appearance of normalcy, but actually it's not. You're looking at the light activity, the stalking conduct by the state, the demonic activity by the people. It's actually not normalcy at all. But this is the guise under which this system operates. It's supposed to appear as such, all right? You're preparing donuts, you're ordering a drink, you're just driving down the street. That's what it's supposed to look like on the surface. This is what demonic activity, that's how Satan plays, by the way. Okay, 8 DHU 937, 8 PLT 994. I already read that one. So you have what is this entity engaging in maintenance of presence in those specific third parties. I want to make sure I'm clear. These are the ones, as I'm speaking to the time and I'm exiting, that are engaging in that sexual advice. These are demons listening to me take my panties off, monitoring with the demon that's keeping alignment outside of the bathroom. 8 NPY 895. They're doing so via communication devices. All right, you're subject to systematic surveillance by government and by a demon-possessed people. That's why you have that flashing light inside of Dunkin' Donuts. That's why you have that which is not possibly the sun above the Dunkin' Donuts. That's why you have that which is not possibly the sun remaining visibly present and aiming that impossible light for in excess of 7 hours. It was a total of approximately 9 hours. 38243V2. 8LRL202. What I want to be clear with is speaking to also the entity is not just a sex offender and engaging in stalking and surveillance. The entity is, again, monitoring the documentation. So this is a sex offender that listens to the content that is being collected and gathered about the fact that they are monitoring as you are pulling your panties down. All right, reviewing that all of that about itself. That is speaking to the sickness of Satan. That's the conduct of the demon possessed, by the way. 7 LVS 899, 8 WPE 898, while engaging in that ongoing obsessive sexually violent conduct. And that is going under the name of what is Dunkin' Donuts, a facilitating venue. Keeping what is not possibly the sun over the venue in alignment with the venue, aiming light inside of the venue, which is not going to occur also inside of the venue of Shiro's Liquor at the same time. That's the significance of what I captured January 23rd, 4:50 p.m. Okay, inside of Dunkin' Donuts today, 4:50 p.m. Let me be clear, it's the same parking lot. That has nothing to do with global warming. That is to the exclusion of any other location where that light object, which is supposed to be the sun, is not visible over any other state while I'm looking at it over the roof of the building directly across from Dunkin' Donuts. That's not movement anywhere. That's not the sun. All right, and it is, again, documentation of the light source, which is not possibly the sun, remaining in a single city, literally remaining over an address all day. Okay, while monitoring the documentation. And I want to speak to what is that ongoing sexual violence. And so as I remain subject to that, and you have the conduct with the directed light, the conduct with the which I showed you, and I've always stated what is going on is exactly what's going on. That's why I'm able to show hundreds and hundreds of videos of what it is that I've stated, and even providing a tutorial as to why it is called what it is, because it is unheard of, and you don't call that light activity based on anything else other than directed light. It's serving that purpose. Light is being directed onto me. This is the ongoing directed target of demons engaging in what is a directed system, directed toward a targeted individual, if you will. 8TXM835, and that is why it's called directed light for many. It's also referred to as impossible light activity, which is a reference to the fact that light that is being necessarily projected, and this is, let me be clear, being projected horizontally, that is the conduct of light itself. All right, let me speak to what is the way in which you are able to describe what is the impossible with regard to natural light conduct. But what you're looking, that's demonic. I'm just speaking to in ways with words that you can understand. That's clearly not coming down from the sun that's above the roof, albeit hovering over the roof. That's not even the sun, but hovering over the roof of the Dunkin' Inns. And then you have this manifestation of light, not just light that's upright, that is not coming down from the sky and then bending through the window to touch on that wall. Obviously, that's what I mean by using words to describe literally what this light is necessarily doing and what it's not naturally doing. All right, light is not naturally engaging in that sort of conduct. You have what is demonic activity. That's how you have that light in that position engaging in that conduct. 6EPK421, a sex offender. 8V, I'm sorry, I can't see the rest of it. 8ZSV452 is what that one was. So, like I said, while I use words to describe what is light to be horizontally projected onto a surface, all right, like I showed you inside of Dunkin' Donuts at 11:31 a.m., let me be clear, it's demonic. All right, you're talking about what you cannot see, which are dark spirits. These are demons that are literally surrounding. And their demon possession, as you see them in the video walking around, walking to and from the trash can, it's a demon pacing. As you see them walking to the bathroom door, walking back, that's a demon pacing. All right, as you see them walking past me to get in line or waiting for a drink, they're crossing paths while they have two shadows in front of them. They're pacing, and they're stalking with activity, doing so in that engineered light. All of them looking the other way, engaging in conduct as though it's absolutely normal, oblivious to my presence, while they are all engaging in demonic activity, and it's monitoring conduct. Okay, while that is ongoing, you have what is that impossible light that surrounds and prefaces what is a psychopath that's engaging in that conduct. All right, license 7XAG871 included. Loitering and present, monitoring me while my panties are down. Okay, this is this entire line, this entire drive-through, engaging in that sexually violent conduct and doing so while surveillance is underway. And they are represented by the minion who I capture as I walk out of the venue. That's the people of the state sitting in alignment with the bathroom door while I'm capturing images of my 3 shadows that surround me. All right, they're all monitoring as one. And it is also one demonic entity. This is Satan operating through all kinds of people together at one time. Okay, that's what demonic activity is. And that ongoing demonic environment is what you are, is how you are recognizing that. All right, so anyway, this conduct that I captured, and these are in still images, it's not in video. All right, so 4:50 p.m. These are a series of images taken while I'm sitting in the Dunkin' Donuts. And this is, let me get this, 6LTE845, 8PTW133, 8GJV387. Those are demons that are touching, and they like to touch to also engage in a method of distraction while they listen to me document them. All right, that's still the conduct of a violent sex offender and a psychopath. That's what Satan is, though, by the way. So anyway, I want to be clear. These images that I capture at 4:50, that is not coexisting with the images that I did capture at 4:50 inside of a S.I.I.S liquor. So again, this is not some alignment, some perfect line whereby the actual sun is in any way remaining visible, capable. The actual sun is not remaining capable and visible, visibly capable. Excuse me. It is not capable of being visibly present. What would be for the duration of the day as I captured on January 23rd. And not only on January 23rd is it present over the B&G Plaza in alignment to me inside of the S.I.I.S liquor. And while then I step outside, I'm sitting at the bus bench. I'm documenting on my podcast. I'm sitting at the bus bench and I turn around and you're the light source is right there. All right. You're talking about what is mutually exclusive with regard to that positioning. It is placed in perfect alignment with me. This is Satan itself that is maintaining an environment while Satan's minions. This is the spiritual context about what's going on. Darkness, all right? And you have what is the people of the state. These are third parties with regard to the legal relevance of their position as a government is engaging in monitoring with communication devices. And that's how you have what is a light source that is engaging in that ongoing method of what is maintaining that presence perfectly aligned with where I am, 8ZBL717. And where I am today at 4:50 is not perfectly aligned with the entrance standing inside of the depths of the S.I.I.S liquor on Hope Boulevard in Ontario, California. It is not. And not only that, that is also how you know that is not the sun on January 23rd, because the state's fake sun is over that venue at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's how I'm going to be able to show you under the this is what you use to document an entity that has nothing to do with global warming. You are still looking at what is a light source that is remaining over one single address all day. That is not the actual sun as we know it. That's engaging in an ongoing movement. And you're talking about where the city of Ontario is not the center of the universe. Where I am is not the center of the universe. I am the center of the universe of the demon possessed, of Satan itself. All right? Monitoring with children, engaging in sexual violence, surveilling me while my panties are down, engaging in this demonic terrorism, license 7XAG871, filled with children inside. They're all monitoring, I want to be clear, and engaging in that presence and doing so with minors inside of that vehicle. That's what's relevant about that. 8GQG589, 6RGZ785. And it's currently 6:17 p.m. They just drove out of the drive-thru and they are completing a purchase with those with the minions that work for Dunkin' Donuts. License plate 6824903. It is currently, let me get this, 8VWR165. It's currently 6:18 p.m. And so you have what is, again, contrary to the very theory of what we are told about with regard to global warming, and that's because you have what is the exacerbation, the extremity of what is, you know, the conduct of or the sun. All right, the sun as we know it. All right, you're talking about it's getting hotter. The seasons are becoming more extreme. And all the ways in which that's supposedly the affect of that. I want to be clear, what I am documenting has nothing to do with that. You are talking about what is the isolation of a light source to an address all day. That has nothing to do with global warming. It is not engaging in any presence in any other state, in other words. It's not present, it's remaining over the parking lot. all day. Not only that, my documentation that is showing when I'm in the city of Pomona, that's not possibly over the city of Pomona when I am standing in the parking lot in front of the entrance and looking up in the sky. I'm not even looking in the direction which would be, generally speaking, west, as though the actual sun was over that Pomona Transit Center when I was definitely there. January 27, 2022, January 30th, 2022, state's fake sun going up and down Hope Boulevard, east and west. It's not any direction which would be relative to what is south, where Hope Boulevard is relative to Mountain Avenue. It's directly over my head. All right. So like I said, you have what is movement of a light source as I move. 8 VWR 165, the same, a sex offender engaging in surveillance via a drive-through at the third-party facilitating venue where I remain, Dunkin' Donuts. And you have that has nothing to do with this theory that is proffered with regard to global warming, and that's what I'm speaking to. And you have also the entity engaging in that which is mutually exclusive. It's literally captured above the roof of the the Fontana, but yesterday I'm at the Upland Public Library. I not only show you why I'm at the library, inside of the library. When you're inside of the building of the Upland Public Library, all you can see is the sky. You can't see anything other than what is up, in other words, okay? There is no sky space that is shared with the Upland Public Library right above the roof of the Upland Public Library. And the state kept its fake sun over me at this venue today. 7RKC 614, I believe. Can't really see the rest of that one. And so, like I said, I have belabored that point. You are talking about what is. I just want to make sure that it is clarified, and the reason why, let me be clear, because it's not as though my documentation is not clear. I will say though, one that is not familiar. You don't know where I'm at in California. All right, you don't know if I'm just literally pulling out video, but I'll just go through this and then I'll tell you the but to that. You don't know if I'm just literally pulling out video of what I think is the sun remaining over me all day, and say I am literally just all of these addresses are literally next door to each other. Let's just say that's the scenario. If you want to argue, okay, well, you're next door, that's not any difference. Of course the sun's going to look like it's directly over your head when you're in such a close proximity, and that is actually the extent of that, which is still not relevant with regard to, and this is where I'm getting to the but, still not relevant with regard to what is the maintenance for the duration of a day of what is supposed to be the sun. All right, the sun is not exclusive to a single address. And then even with that documented conduct of exclusivity to an address, when I go to a different address, it's not exclusive to that documented address. It engages in a grand departure. All right, and there is no relativity with regard to that previously documented location. And that is illustrated when I do things such as go to Palmdale in Los Angeles, when I go to Azusa, when I go to Pomona, which is Los Angeles County, which again, I did not start in Ontario documenting this. I started it in, documenting it with knowledge, because I was capturing the fake sun before I even knew I was capturing the fake sun. I did not know all the parts of the pattern of conduct yet. As I was documenting, though, I was documenting it. And so you have what is the state's light source over me indeed in the city of Pomona. 8 WCX 267, where I was not near the Pomona Transit Center. Okay, I was sleeping in my vehicle, and 88DR 085. And in my video, when I'm getting third-party license plates and I'm capturing license plates on video, what you see is hovering over me as a light source, moving as I move from car to car. Never at any time of years I've documented the pattern of conduct for a term of years now is the light source ever deviating to be over Valley Boulevard and remain as it was while I was living in my vehicle at in Pomona, being over the Pomona Regional Transit Center as I was there, remaining over my head, and then remaining over me as I go back to Ontario, and then engaging in conduct as though that sun is setting in Ontario is not in any way in conformity to what the entity is doing. It is exclusive with regard to that address. And so you're talking about, again, with regard to the entity maintaining a light source over a venue, you have what is that exclusive conduct that is not characteristic of the sun as we know it. And it is impossible, and that has nothing to do with global warming. That's no intensification of what is the actual sun. The sun is not staying over a single address all day, and that's exactly what the entity did today. Again, remaining over Dunkin' Donuts and being over what is Michael's. It's literally over Michael's. Michael's is in the same plaza. Michael's is just across the opposite side of the parking lot. All right, so it's over Jersey Mike's and over Michael's, and you see also There's no mistake about that. It is hovering, aiming light into the depths. Impossible light. Conflicting light also. Pay attention. First of all, not only is it impossible, it's conflicting because you see the signage 355 that is being projected. As I show you what's outside, you see light that is only concentrated and appearing inside of Dunkin' Donuts. You don't see it concentrated and appearing on the asphalt in the parking lot outside. All right, so you see the concentrated light as it manifests inside of the building. First of all. Second of all, you have what is license 8YOT128, molesting. You have what is the conflicting directions with this directed light. While I'm sitting at the chair, I'm still seated. I have not gotten up yet at 4:50 because I'm showing you what is this method of touching that the entity, this is Satan itself that engages in what is an ability to prosecute. Satan engaging in harassment. Satan engaging in what is sexual violence. And Satan doing so through the environment and also doing so in concert with the people of the state who are psychopath demons pacing all around while you're being touched all over with light. All right. And then these demons are acting like they're totally oblivious, separate from it, while they are fully engaging in that pattern of conduct. That's why it's occurring, because they're all monitoring together and they're demon possessed. All right. So you were talking about the ability to prosecute that. That's also, you're able to see while I'm sitting at the table, the same table that I captured on video. That's important to note, because what you're looking at, that trajectory of that light on the chair, at the table that I'm sitting at, it is aiming in an opposite direction to the rest of the light, where it's supposed to be a sunset and it's all going to a certain side of the building, and it's not. First of all, you see the signage that says 355. It's projected onto the wall inside of the depths of the Dunkin' Donuts. That's absolutely impossible light activity. But second of all, you see what is the light that's on the table and on the chair in front of me that's totally broken and separate. It's going in an opposite direction. And it is an absolute conflict with what is the trend of the direction of that light, all right? But also, let me be clear. In the same way that the entity aims directed light inside of the depths of Ovid Family Community Library, all right, or any other venue, I've shown the pattern. It is impossible. You're understanding what you are adapted to looking at, but it's actually impossible. The sun is not beside buildings. The actual sun is above us. It is not beside buildings. And when light is coming down from above us, that creates shade where there are structures. It would not create any light that is spreading into the depths of the building. All right. And not only that, it's remaining 7 hours later after 9:02 a.m. on video. OK. And not only that, 9:02 a.m. I am both remaining at B&G Plaza as I've documented. I am in the city of Pomona as I documented, literally showing you the fake sun at that same central presence directly over my head. Directly over my head and remaining there, because I show you that on video as I then come back to the city of Ontario. So there's no question. It's not just, it's all disconnected and broken or any mystery with regard to, well, what? No, you see it remain over me as I go to and from. And then I use a specific time to see, this is not anywhere in the city of Pomona. That's not coexisting. This is a light source that's remaining exclusive to where I am. And remaining over the parking lot, visible through the venue, the windows of that venue. Not only is that directed light impossible, as I explained that, but it's also that which is not even in conflict. The entity going out of its way to just touch me with directed light that is not in conformity to the rest of the scheme of that directed light that's going in the opposite direction, away from where I am sitting. All right. But you also have what is directed light that is in where the bathroom hallway is. It's touching up at the roof higher up. That's impossible light activity. Absolutely impossible. It's impossible, and then I mean like utterly ridiculous. It's not even in conformity with what the state repeatedly tries to engage in with regard to directed light. All right, you're talking about just touching on the floor, and then you have all of a sudden light that's just touching up at the ceiling portion in the bathroom hallway. That's literally at the back of the building on the inside of the Dunkin' Donuts. And then you just have this line of light that's across my table touching the chair, which the state was touching me with. All right, so I get up and I do capture those images. And 4:50 p.m., again, a vivid illustration of what is not possibly captured while standing inside of Shiro's Liquor. All right, molesting, license 8KQY936 and 8WES037. Violent sex offenders. They're just driving around in circles, making sure if I engage in anything that somebody is there to touch with light, somebody is there to be in the path. All right. And it's the same thing while they're inside, sitting inside of Corky's. Corky's at 385 Mountain Avenue has been monitoring all day. All right, I identified Mountain Green as the plaza at where I'm at in relevant position. That light activity, the fake sun, this is Satan itself. These are all minions making pancakes, making subs, working at the grocery store. This is P.O.C. It's demonic activity. That's why the fake sun was directly over Michael's at the end of the day and directly over the roof of the venue that I'm inside of at 9:02 in the morning. And it was here before that. I just captured it on video so you can see it. That's impossible light. The actual sun's not remaining. Again, let me repeat this. The actual sun that would never make it across state lines to be in the city of Nevada, okay? Let alone to be in anywhere in Northern California. All right, let alone never make it to be, it's not going to be anywhere in Redlands, California. It's remaining in the city of Upland today. It is not over the 280 North Limit Apartments, while it is already west of that direction where the state is at when I'm there, keeping it over that venue all day long. It's already extended westward beyond that. All right, you're talking about what is the absence of any ability of that being the actual sun. That has nothing to do with what is proffered as the theory of global warming. Nothing at all. That's not an explanation, and you're witnessing what is absolutely demonic. The entity wants, let me also be clear, wants to disperse. So you're talking about what is Sean Thrasher's other motive, aware of my documentation, trying to engage in banning me from, and I'm going to address that, banning me from Ontario Ovid Family Community Library for a period of time, especially as he knows I'm going through time of year. That's not stopping time of year analysis. I've already got it, okay, on the record. But it's not even that. You're talking about also wanting to span out away from remaining in Ontario. Let me tell you something. When I already documented on January 27th at 7:35 in the morning at Starbucks, 111 North Vineyard Avenue, Ontario, 7:35 in the morning. And then January 23rd at 4:50 p.m., the fake sun is in alignment to me. That is down the street from Starbucks. That is one street. That is I put that in air quotes because the light source is over me at that early of an hour. We'll just put it that way. But there is no rising of it. It's starting over me where I am. And if I stay at 630 North Fern at 10:37 in the morning and don't go anywhere at 7:35, guess where the light source remains? Right there at 630 North Fern. This has nothing to do with the actual sun. And so Starbucks is not over the sky space of 630 North Front. It's not coexisting. It's not piercing over the edge of that house and also present over the spires in alignment with the parking lot of Starbucks to remain over my head. It's not remaining there and then also moving over while I'm on the bus later after remaining at Starbucks on January 22nd and then moving over the B&G Plaza, where, by the way, it was nowhere near that location today whatsoever, in conflict with what I document on a daily basis, okay? It has nothing to do with global warming. License plate, 8NBL958. So you have I want to make sure is very clear, this has nothing to do with, it is in no way relevant to what has been proffered with regard to what is not the sun as you know it, what you have been told, what I've been told. That's why I started documenting, because I was like, this is not possibly the sun. When I'm sitting at Ontario Town Square and all day long, you have what is this light source that's remaining over me and then engaging in, just profoundly impossible conduct. I know, and that's how it came to my attention, because I'm sitting under the amphitheater that creates shade. Sitting under a structure and the sun is over that structure, that creates shade. It doesn't create light. But what the entity would do is I sit in the shade, pushing light more and more closer to me. This is Satan that wants to touch, pushing light farther and farther back to the wall of the amphitheater. Absolutely ridiculous. That is, again, by the way, I've already documented this pattern. That is removing the shade underneath the large, beautiful tree in front of that chiropractic office on Laurel. Remember that demonic pattern of conduct? I captured that. 8ATD087, and it's impossible, entirely impossible. It's demonic. That is Satan. That's conduct of Satan. It's contrary to common sense. It's contrary to logic. It's twisted. It's demented. It's wicked. That's what that means. Okay? This is what you are looking at. It's entirely abnormal, just like the demons who surround, all right, with that spirit on them. So you have what is the entity engaging in that conduct, and this remaining to the exclusion of any other location. While I'm showing you at 4:50, not only is this relevant to that which is not possibly the sun, this is ongoing complete documentation again. This is in no way conflicting or in any way defying the entity that would like for me to span out. Let me be clear. Again, 7:35 in the morning, 4:50 p.m. in the evening. Okay? That is concrete documentation of what is not the sun, period. License plate, 8TTH524, period. There is no time where the actual sun is remaining on a single street. That's exactly what that is. And guess what? To be able for me to capture inside of Shiro's Liquor, it's very, very close. It's very, very close. It's not over the beach. Okay, I'm not looking at it while it's hovering over the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, on the edge of the beach. That's not what, it's very, very close. That's why you see that light activity inside of S.I.I.S Liquor at 4:50 p.m. And by the way, 4:50 p.m. is the end of the day. 7:35 a.m. is the beginning of the day. January 22nd and January 23rd is speaking to what is documentation revealing what is not possibly the sun, has nothing to do with global warming. That is not conduct of the actual sun. The actual sun is not remaining on one particular street in a county, in a city. And not only just on one street, it remains over me while it's remaining on that one street at the end of the day and at the beginning of the day. But there's broken up. If I go somewhere else like I've done before, you're talking about following, as I go to the Ovid Family Community Library, remaining there, going back to the same street, Hope Boulevard, B&G Plaza, where then you're acting as though the sun is setting. Earlier in the day, though, you go much west. You go to Los Angeles County, remain over my head. And then you go back to San Bernardino County and engage in as though the sun is setting there. All right, I want to be clear. The state's fake sun is at 9:02 a.m., not mutually possible. I'm looking straight up. The light source is right over my head, following over my head, as you've already seen, to the city of Upland, where at this location, 355 South Mountain Avenue, it has already exceeded where the state is engaging in acting like the sun is setting in Ontario at the B&G Plaza. It has already advanced west beyond that, where it is setting at 4:50 p.m., which, by the way, at 4:50 p.m., you have what is the light source that is not possibly seen inside of S.I.I.S Liquor, while it is essentially over the museum, in perfect alignment with me at 4:50 p.m. on January 23rd. 355 South Mountain Avenue, inside of the city of Upland, at the Dunkin' Donuts. This one that wants to touch on my legs and my thighs. This is a white woman and a Latino male, children in the vehicle, 8XKF548. Just sits in the parking lot and aims their headlights on me. This is just a demon that wants to get my attention, wants to be a distraction, and also wants to touch on me. Let me be clear, this is an act of hostility while they engage in that. This is demonic conduct that's entirely twisted what the entity engages in with light, all right? So like I said, anyway, it's 6:35 p.m. and they are in the drive-thru of Dunkin' Donuts, also a method of documenting them. So anyway, the entity engaging in that conduct, and let me be clear, 7:35 a.m. to 4:50 p.m. is documentation of what is supposed to be the sun on one street. That is not documentation of any actual sun that is captured or visible over any other sky space in any other state. If that was the sun, it's not the sun. That's my point. That is not possibly the sun. So let me be clear. Me going to another state, say I went to another state, it does not change that record that already exists. All right. It's already been exposed what's going on. The entity engaging in this harassment, engaging in trying to ban me from a venue that's heavily documented. It is speaking to what is an ongoing pattern of conduct that doesn't stop. The sun is not rising and the sun is not over me early in the morning and then also remaining at that same address. This is exactly what Ovid Family Community Library is documented, engaging in day in and day out. And while I've documented that, and I'm in the city of Upland where I've been since this morning, 4:50 p.m. Again, that's beyond the time of what is 3:57 p.m. And by the way, it's never deviating and coexisting with regard to presence over the entrance or over the 280 North Limit Apartments. It wasn't over there at all. It was right here over me, both before 3:50 p.m. and remaining until after. All morning it was over here at 355 South Mountain Avenue. That's what is going on. It does not coexist with regard to, oh, it's present over. No, it's not. That's why I document it, because there's no question about it. All right, so like I said, it's 6:37 p.m. and this demon engages in touching by parking. They want to park right next to me, and that's supposed to be their forum. Oh, no, you know, they're parking in directed light, and they're touching while they do so. 8SVU 654. These are violent sex offenders, and all they're doing is monitoring, and they're maintaining an ongoing rhythm of touching with light. All right, that's the conduct of the predators. So I do document the predators that want to engage in that sexual violence with kids. You're touching. You are touching with the state. You are touching with the state while you want to bring your kids and engage in that sexual violence. That's noted, okay? It's relevant to that prosecution. This is how you are breaking down what's entirely demonic. You're making what is done with some dark spiritual significance. It's actually criminal. You're bearing that under light, all right? You're making that manifest, and you're also applying law to it, how you are going to punish that conduct, that entirely sick conduct. It also bears implications with regard to that particular demon's life, any threats that they pose, because they are a violent threat in society, an unaddressed threat. These are demons running all around, disengaging in lawlessness with the government. At that, okay? You're talking about what is all manner of ways in which you are able to address that, and necessarily so as a matter of justice. This is a minion with her communication device. It's currently 6:38 p.m. opening up the closed her car door, looking at T-Mobile, which has been closed, after she wants to touch. All right, she's monitoring. A pathetic minion, okay? It is currently 6:39 p.m. That's what you're listening to. Opening and closing the door is a means of crossing path in directed light, okay? That's P.O.C. Again, that's license plate 6SVU654. Anyway, so like I said, you have, what is that documentation? I mean, and like I said, the state's fake sun is remaining over me. You're not even 630 North Fern. Hello, I already documented this. It's not new. The state kept the fake sun over me on a street while I sat in the car on January 1st, 2022, which is not the first time. Not the first time, but I documented it as a matter of record. You're talking about what is doing the exact same thing while I'm at a public establishment, Dunkin' Donuts. Keeping the fake sun from one side to the opposite side, aiming light over the same exact location. And you're also looking at what is absolutely impossible light. That's not even sunlight. That's flashing and moving about. It has character. All right, you're talking about light that is just move. There's no vehicle that's driving by that's creating that light activity. All right, and that's speaking to what are the demons that surround, and what is Satan that is hovering in the sky space. That's what that reveals. Contrary to what they're doing, walking around like they're normal, and then you look at that directed light. That's what I want you to focus on. 8PYK729. You look at that video today, and this is what I'm saying. This is how Satan operates in that unspoken system, because that's exactly what it is. It's a system that's in operation, and it's unspoken. All right? You don't need Satan to say a word. Any word that Satan utters, as you've also seen, you're going to use it against him. You're going to prosecute him for it. Everything is a matter of publication. You're subject to surveillance. And then you like these demons that like to lie. Okay, Satan is a liar. And you want to lie, you want to mischaracterize, you want to defame, because you also want to engage in kidnapping in order to obstruct justice. This is a pattern of conduct by third parties, by the courts, demons sitting in the court. Yes. All right. Demons engaging in facilitation of harassment while they're monitoring together, hostile to documentation. Demons engaging in what is a method of seeking to engage in that cooperative criminal act of defamation and kidnapping. That's exactly what I've documented with regard to law enforcement and the court system and those attorneys. They are demons, the same. I want to be clear. The fake sun over the court, the fake sun remaining over me while I'm in prison, and that is a kidnapping while I'm subject to the surveillance by demons. Okay, these are Satan's minions in these positions, and I'm revealing that, and I'm also revealing the criminal conduct that they're engaging in with the people. All right. And it is the absence of the actually true free society. It is not. All right. So this is showing the hypocrisy of this country, and California of all. I mean, whew. But that's what it is. And that's where we are. 6DAP778 molesting. OK, while another demon comes around and touches me with light, they are monitoring in relevant position, and they are molesting together. DC661 handicap. And it is the same with this demon sitting in the parking lot with their headlights on while another demon touches me with light, 7LVA031, and I remain molested with directed light. Okay, 7R30733, 6DAP778, 7CRS989, 7WYK917, RPA57C Arizona, molesting, 7UPC264, 8TFS681, 8RXE577. 7NDP426, and I think I read that one already. It's currently 6:42 p.m. HERMIES 6PNU346 8CIZ 905. That's a demon using their vehicle as a means of stalking with audible activity. And that demon appropriates that stalking conduct, that demented conduct. Oh, they're getting out their car and they're just sounding their alarm while they go buy Jamba Juice. 8NDB222. They're engaged in surveillance and they're waiting for the moment to touch, waiting for the moment to make sure activity is following what I do. 8NLE143, molesting. All right, so sitting in the parking lot the entire time, all those demons that were crossing path and touching, so are they. All right, 8LWD012, 6LIE845. 8WOU831, 8PTW133,
8 HEV 331, sitting in their vehicle in the parking lot, engaging in surveillance, stalking in the path. 7 FSJ 306, 8 XRC 675, FLO 1604, that is Idaho, thanks to that directed light that they're flashing. 8 UIJ 376, 7 KCR 219, 8 EXF 993, 4 SJA 657, AF 49 W10, 8 KFN 528. I already read that demon's license plate. They were loitering at Corky's. Corky's is a third-party facilitating venue monitoring all day today, okay? 6 ROE 617, 7 XRW 945, 9 6864 and 2, 7 ULS 745, 8 XQH 415, 5 WXC 023, 8 NQB 901, 6 VAF 521, 8 RFX 977, 7 WLN 204, 37948Z1, FAW 339, BLSS D55, 7 BSR 192. That's a demon stalking with audible activity, and they're monitoring. This is a part of the same Mountain Green Plaza, but let me cite specifically a name. This is a liquor store over here, facilitating light. The parking lot light goes off. All right, that's stalking with light activity. PWZ 7538 is a Texas license plate creating audible activity. 5 GRS 298, 8 CUV 705, stalking with audible activity using the ignition as I walk up. 5 VIX 977, 8 AKR 130, 8 KYN 528, stalking in the path with light. 8 HOY 636. All right, and this is Lucky Liquor, and this is located at 1277. And she's just sitting. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you just sitting there? Go. License plate. Audible activity. She's just sitting there instead of driving off. Pathetic. That's Lyft as well. All right. It is currently, let me get that license plate again, 8 HOY 636. I'm monitoring with this minion over here playing loud music. Let me get him. 321 NU, that's Wisconsin. Again, that's 321 NU, Wisconsin on the motorcycle license plate. This is Lucky Liquor, 3 VIX 977. All of them are monitoring the maintenance of that light, turning on and off the parking lot lights. That's light activity. It's demonic, okay? 8 NQB 901. And then the motorcycle, let me be clear, this is the demon that intentionally comes around to maintain activity levels. All right, that's what that is. It's audible activity and engineered light. And I just took a picture while I'm standing in the parking lot of Lucky Liquor where they are turning on and off the parking lot lights. And I have 3 shadows that are in front of me, okay? The Super 8 motel directly across the street, they're monitoring, patrolling in and out of that parking lot, group stalking in the path. Let me get this. All right, I'm showing you the demons that are stalking sitting in the parking lot. And you can see my 3 shadows that are in front of me upright on this vehicle with license 5GRS 298. They are demons and they are stalking. All right, monitoring all together. They're maintaining presence all around, and that is the ongoing pattern of conduct. So like I said, I just wanted to go over there and get those license plates. Those are third parties that act as one. It's the ongoing simultaneous conduct under what is demon possession. All right, it's not like one at a time. You're talking about Satan that's operating over people together. All right, and you also have what is Satan that's present in the environment, entirely impossible light activity. 3 shadows that are upright, enlarged in size, magnified in size, is not any light that's coming from an ordinary street lamp. 8 RFX 977 touching. All right, and so you have what is the entity engaging in that P.O.C. In an ongoing, perpetually maintained environment. And it's not a matter of some specialized light bulb. It's demonic. It's absolutely demonic. 39799R1. That's how you have light appearing upright on a wall within. As I stand in it, I have multiple shadows. You have light that's manifesting and moving in motion upright on walls. 7JAR 516. It is speaking to the condition of all of those who are in relevant position. Relevant for purposes of monitoring with communication devices. FLO 1604 Idaho, 7GJU 825, 7CRS 989, 7DGM 760, 8TCM 463. These are all minions that are patrolling all around in and out of the drive-through, crossing path, driving down the street for means of ongoing crossing path and light activity. It is 6:48 p.m. License plate 8DOB593, 8UT, oh, I think I read that one, but I'll read it again, 8UIJ376, but I read that one. License CJK2886, Arizona, 8JMA352. All right, this is a sex offender. You got to remember the light activity. They start their vehicles. They sit around in their vehicles. They turn on their lights. They reverse, right? These are all methods of light, and they do so based on where I'm at. All right, 8SJE605. License 8WTA354 is that predator, that sex offender touching. All right, you're talking about literally a demon just sitting in the vehicle waiting in order to start it. Starting it, which is the form for what is their intent, which is to touch with light. 8XCF792, which is exactly what that demon was doing with the lift signage. She's already reversed. So what are you doing? You're reversing. Why don't you start driving forward? She literally is just sitting there and keeping in front of me while you're hearing the motorcycle, which is playing loud music. This is audible activity, relevant positioning, and light activity. 8UFD447. And particularly, well, none of it is persuasive with regard to me, okay? But you're talking about they want to appear as though they're engaging in just normal conduct, just every day. I'm just driving. 8WUW392, 8WKG623. These demons are patrolling. 8YGZ073, 071, I believe. 8KJR095. They're just driving back and forth. They're all in directed light. 8HNE991. And the other license plates, they are either inside of a venue or they're sitting in the parking lot. All right, that's chiefly what they are doing. This is what surveillance looks like, and this is exactly the environment that it is occurring in. 6JHU113. 7JHU130. And this is license 3JAK369. 8WKG623 sitting in their vehicle the whole time, just monitoring. And this is the whole bunch. This is demons, and this is every city. It doesn't matter what city or county that you're in. You're talking about what is a state system. All right, you're talking about what is an entire demonic operation. Right, the demon possessed, which surround. Okay, 7APR587, and the demon possessed are very, very sick. They're sick. 8LOK049, including 4WON432. Oh no, that's 4ZXL642. CA62G07, that's paper. 8TJJ635, 8AQM613, 8WKG623. Go on ahead. This is a demon that wants to touch. I read that license plate. Let me read it again. That's a predator. 8WKG623. They intend to touch with light, intend to maintain presence crossing path with light. All right? So you're talking about maintaining presence everywhere that you go. T448JO. Mountain Green Shopping Center facilitating the pattern of conduct. You got a security guard on a golf cart with flashing light. They're monitoring. 71971T2. Sitting around aiming light, standing outside their car in relevant position while directed light is present. 8YQZ071, 8NVZ910, 8MZU306, 8FME172. Monitoring with Aldi. They're in the parking lot of Aldi. Aldi is monitoring as well. 8VXV063. Just want to be clear. Aldi is just a third-party facilitating venue inside of the Mountain Green Plaza. 8HTZ415. 7WXD922. 8GBJ034. And it's 6:53, by the way. Um, 8JMA225. This is Wisconsin. AHT6842. 8KJR095 and I read that one already. 8EXF993. GKGMOD3. Stalking with light. All right. 5VQG656. 6WXD922. I think I read that one already. TREBEL1. 6VHB640. 7ZFB880. 7MNM747, 7UGX442. Eight TGF 569, 7 KCY 077, 8 EIP 332, GKG MOD 3, now crossing path, 400RZ handicap, 8 YHY 857, 7 UGX 442, 7 MNM 747, 7 ZFB 880. 4BUL 331 and 4LEV 082, 8WIZ 890, 8KFG 742, 4WTM 226. This is an old white man sitting in the parking lot with a beanie on his head, 4LEV 082. Two of my shadows that are upright, in the shadow of that vehicle that he's driving, the shadow is moving around in a circle around the car. 8KFG 742, and this demon is sitting in the dark. I already read this license plate. Let me repeat it because they're monitoring together. 4WTM 226, 8WIZ 890, 7NRA 632, 7KWM 144, 8EBJ 941, 4VAH 894, 4BUL 331. 7 TGW 715, 8 GMH 843, 5 TLF 566, 8 GSB 936, 7 Y I8. That looks different. No, that's not an 8. That's something else. 7 YI8 498, I suppose. Oh no, that's an S. That's why it looks weird. 7 YIS 498. Looks like they tried to change it to an 8 though. Alrighty, just want to be clear where I'm at. This is a Latino male sitting in his vehicle next to 7 TGW 715. This Latino male driving this old Camry, 7YI8 498 or 7YIS 498. The license plate has been tampered with. I took an image of it. License 7JJM 768. GXA 9GC, that's Arizona. 7NEB 110, a predator waiting to touch. 8GSR 936, a stalker engaging in loitering with their lights on in the parking lot, touching together. They're all monitoring together. License 8WVM 306, 8JHU 874. Eight CSW 747. 4 VAH 894, I believe. 8 EBJ 941, in case I didn't read these. 8 KRP 819. 6 YBZ 059. This old fat man who was monitoring and making all kind of swerving instead of just turning down the street. He's stalking in the path with light. License 7DQV 943. License 7N. Let me see. 7NRA 632. 7KWM 144. Alrighty, and literally, again, you're going to, it's not just the fact that I captured it literally remaining over, and by it I mean the fake sun, and not just the fake sun. That's only one method of stalking with light. It is speaking to and revealing what needs to be known. That's the presence of Satan itself. This is a demonic system. It's a demonic environment. You have what is the presence of the impossibility of a light source that's not the sun, who is hiding behind that appearance of what's supposed to be the sun as you know it. It is Satan itself. That's how Satan is present. Also through the people of the state who are demon-possessed. 8EGZ332, I believe. Or 8EJZ332. Not only is that, but I've already documented what is the entity, as I've documented this venue before, coming to this venue, and then leaving from this venue with the fake sun remaining over me. December 8, 2021, I walked past this venue. There was no light source that remained over the Dunkin' Donuts all day long while I continued walking north up Upland Avenue. Up Mountain Avenue in the city of Upland. And then what did I do on December 8, 2021, after the state's fake sun is over me at Walmart at 1333 North Mountain Avenue? It was not over the parking lot, even in the direction of what is Dunkin' Donuts at 355 South Mountain Avenue. It was in Ontario, where it was present over me at 5th Street and Mountain Avenue. over my head. Okay, remaining there, being molested by Sentas with a directed light, a demon driving a commercial vehicle, engaging in that demonic behavioral pattern, monitoring with communication devices. That's what happened. It's the same time of year. It is directly relevant to what I documented today. Okay, the ongoing evidence of what is not possibly the sun. License plate 8XCF792. You have what is the entity engaging in this documented conduct. Today, it's just the fact that I was here in the morning and stayed until late into the evening, and the state kept the light source in conformity to the pattern of conduct and direct opposition to common sense. That is the revealing of what is the pattern of conduct, and it is insurmountable. It's direct evidence. And also, it is also literally obliterating any notion of what is some global warming. It has nothing to do with that. Remaining over a parking lot all day long has nothing to do with what is supposedly the intensifying elements and the environment that we're around. No. That is not the sun that's remaining over an address. The sun doesn't do that. Hello? The sun doesn't do that. And guess what? If the sun did that, there would only be one place that would be getting sunlight that would see the object itself, just like I'm showing you. That's not moving over any other state. It's not coexisting both over me at the parking lot, remaining from one side over me, and then toward 450 like it's going somewhere while it's sitting above what is Michael's on the opposite side of the same parking lot, aiming directed light inside. And also it's visible in the city of Las Vegas, Nevada. You can name any city. I'm just using that as an example because it's exceedingly hot there. I've been there. All right, blazing hot. That's not the sun over there. That's not the sun. It's not possibly the sun, and it is not visibly captured there. That is a low hovering light source, so low that it's aiming light into the depths, into the underneath structures at every venue that I go to. That's the pattern. That's why you're surrounding with light. That's how you do that, and it's entirely demonic. It is revealing what is the obsession of what is Satan. Satan is an inferior creature. Satan is a spirit. Satan is present through what is the environment. Satan is present through those who are people walking around with dead spirits in them. All right, that those dead spirits are acting out. They are identifying themselves through people who are not normal. They're not normal people. And again, let me point something out. When I'm showing you these videos today that I documented, and I use specific timestamps, 9:02 a.m. today, and also what is then 10:09 a.m. And then 11:27. I think it started specifically at like 11:28 a.m. But the video that I captured at 11:27 a.m. at the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library, that's a pretty lengthy video. 11:27 a.m. It is the same time. You have what is, again, I'm remaining in Ontario on February 4th, 2022. I'm not coming up Mountain Avenue. It's not behind my head, over me, behind me in the city of Upland while I'm facing the entirely opposite direction and showing what is a hovering light source that I wouldn't even be able to see if it was in the opposite direction in the city of Upland. It's not. The direction I'm facing is where that light source is. And it's over my head during the beginning of the day. And then what is this entity doing? As you're seeing, it just lowers the elevation of it, keeping it in perfect alignment with me, as though essentially it's literally standing in front of me as opposed to standing above me. That's all the entity is doing. That's not the sun. All right. So like I said, you have that. And that was at 10:09 a.m. And then also at 11:20, I think the specific time is 11:28 a.m. is when I capture video. And then the next one at 1:02 p.m. All right. And then I do capture images at 4:50 p.m. showing you what our JPEG images, 5KFT968 JPEG images, which is again 7 hours, more than 7 hours. It's almost 8 hours. All right, 9:02 a.m. to 4:50 p.m. You're coming up on the 8th hour of what is remaining literally over one street, the opposite side of the same parking lot. Going from remaining directly over my head to remaining directly in alignment with me still inside of that building, aiming light into the depths of that building, deviating from what is the trajectory of that directed light, which is not sunlight, to touch onto the table and the chair that I'm sitting at, by the way. None of that existing where the state is engaging and the sun is setting, conduct as though the sun is setting in the city of Ontario. Our license 8YBZ676. This is just common sense as I'm just breaking it down. 8W48163. And these are the demon possessed, intentionally present in that entire environment, which I am breaking down for you as you understand what is both criminal, 8FNW187, and demonic, 6NMU790. 7MLJ772. And it does not matter what city I go to, 6MJK100, because guess what?
When you are documenting for a term of years what is the remaining of a light source that's not possibly the sun, as I remain chiefly in San Bernardino County in Ontario. If I were to go to Madeira, and guess what? The light source is not possibly going to be present there if that's the sun that I've been capturing for a term of years over me in the city of Ontario. 6TGF569. That's how common sense works. All right? That's not possibly the sun. You're just talking about somebody that's paying attention to the details. And it's not even sophisticated. You're talking about what is Satan relying on? Your ignorance and your inability, your unwillingness to exercise independent thought. Okay? License plate. 8JVX729, 6BNG750, 8YNJ084, 8ATG915, BX294, handicap, 8TDR469, 04464Z2, 8KBY567, CA99F73 paper, 8KYX014, 6YNM918, 5DTD698, PNB 3883 Texas, 8TJX316, 2Z1722, that's an out of state, 8EVL830, 6XBF 372, 6YSR345, 40941B1. 96864N2. 8SCY390. 8VBX. I can't see the rest of that one. Yeah, 96864N1. I believe that's correct. 8VKE114. 8NBD193. This 96864N2. That's a correct license plate. 8CW or 8BCW464. Read that one. 7MLJ722. 7WIP145. What you are looking at also at 11:31 a.m. the directed light that's inside of the Dunkin' Donuts. You have what is. Let me be clear. That is direct evidence of what is a fake sun. Okay, it's not separate documentation. That's not sunlight. That's not going to ever occur with sunlight. That light is dynamic, it's upright, it's horizontally being aimed, and that's just the means whereby I'm using words. It's literally, this is demonic. This is the presence of demons. 6DED771, in order to have this manifestation of light, that is, again, in order to describe it, it is physically manifest. You can see light that is on the wall inside of the Dunkin' Donuts. That is where you are also looking in this video. I just showed you what is the light source that is above the building. Regardless of the fact that the light source is hovering over the building, it is above the building. It is shaded, all right, with regard to what is the roof. And that's exactly what normal light activity is occurring, where the light source is hovering over a structure. It's going to be shade underneath that structure. Light is not moving progressively backwards underneath that structure. That's not normal light activity. It's demonic. 8VPE095, 8YBZ329, 8TQX691, 8PSA106, 8VDX199, 60571P2, HOBZZ 5XYJ023, 7FNX376, 7NUZ444. These demons are so pathetic. They're sitting in a drive-through stalking, and they just sit there and they start driving forward. All I'm speaking to is the knowledge that I'm under surveillance. It is not a coincidence. They are not simultaneously just done with their order and they start driving by. They're trying to get away as I'm looking for their license plates. And it's so pathetic. And by the way, that's all you're doing in directed light. Directed light remains 8WYY527. That's why I just showed you my triple shadows as I'm showing you a demon sitting in a car. HEDZ3AB is a demon as well. Making a U-turn is a means of patrolling with light, pacing, all right, and doing so while you're moving light around, the headlights on the vehicle. It's a demon. All right, listening to me identify these other pathetic minions who are stalking in a drive-thru. Again, it is currently 7:08 p.m. and so you have the entity engaging in that conduct. Like I said, the 8VPM532, the directed light is the direct product of what is the presence of demons, okay? You're talking about what are demons that are present in the environment. For purposes of understanding what it is, how you're going to describe that on a podcast, all right, and I show it in video too, because you just have to see that for yourself. 8DLC 605. And also, it's conduct that was, let me be clear, the entity engages in kidnapping, 3X25140. Nobody's ever supposed to hear about what I have termed directed light. Nobody's ever supposed to, and guess what? Nobody's going to document, but for documentation, 7LHN304. Guess what the target individual that's alleging that? 8MHB245, a paranoid schizophrenic, out of their cotton-picking mind, 7VIM384, making it up, hallucinating. That's textbook P.O.C. when you hear minions speak like that also. All right, that is one that is woefully unprepared for its prosecution, right? Because that's not what's happening. That's not what's going on. That's not what's already done. It's on the internet. It's not a secret. That is a very important step, because understanding demonic activity, 6RPY256 is very, very important. I stated that at the outset. I'm not just going to reveal this criminal system and prosecute it. I'm going to reveal what are the minions, demonic activity, 10156X2, and identify as many of Satan's minions by name, because that's exactly what they are. 8S25997, and it's relevant to wherever, however that minion lives. 8RO2244, BR21W87. These are psychopaths who are living on the loose. 8NMD425, a very real ongoing threat. 8RHC655. Okay, you're talking about psychopaths that are of any race. It doesn't matter what that minion's race is. That's totally irrelevant. All right, these are the things that demonic activity that Satan itself is relying on for you to focus on, for you to be distracted by. 7NUZ444 coming out of the drive-thru. 7HCM475. 4YXF040. 7HJJ394. Showing you the minion, 7HJJ394, monitoring. I'm being molested with directed light, 8MPY065. CB07F27, paper. 8XPT391. 8WYX401. 7TIF859. 7HQS204. 8HLA972. And by monitoring, an operation of the communication device monitoring. That's what they're all doing. 8YQZ071. 7LZK242, 7XEH891. I just took an opportunity to capture that demon's image while in operation of that communication device while I am simultaneously being molested with directed light. 8TZR204, 8WOX947. 5ZIT527. License 6ZNN710. License 7EXJ833, driving with their blinders on. License 8KZP, 8KZP798. 7MEJ552. It's 7:12 p.m. V516YY, that's Utah. And also, let me also document what is a form for targeting while Dunkin' Donuts monitoring me all day long, including while in the bathroom, doing so with the people of the state and with the government itself directly. All right, Dunkin' Donuts is a third party. Dunkin' Donuts is identified as the people of the state. All right, license 8WMD822, 6XEM874, 4ML7353. Believe license 7VXN970, 7HUG697, 4YXD916, I believe. License 6R, I can't really see that one. AZX1338, Washington, 8SWH197, 8CHA799, 7KUF566. SOO4B. That looks like it's a license plate that's got like a flag on it. It's all white. It looks different. Anyway, what Dunkin' Donuts did today, this is a form of targeting, closing down. In other words, excluding me from the establishment earlier than scheduled, than what is published on the door. You have demons that engage in this conduct, making up. Oh, that's what Starbucks did. We don't have enough partners. 6PVL056, 8PKC710, MAMBAXX,
7YRN445. And doing so while they're monitoring. All right, you're doing so in what is that ongoing environment. You're doing so while you're monitoring the documentation. I'm letting you know with regard to documenting these demons for a prolonged period. That's exactly what these companies are doing. All right, and then you're talking about closing down every other Starbucks around in order to engage in some form. None of them have any credibility, but this is the conduct of demons. This is the conduct of the entity. Closing down all the Starbucks. So it's not just that one. It's all of them. We're all doing that. 47473M2. It is P.O.C. It is ongoing harassment. 5XZV964. While I am I remain subject to that pattern of conduct, and doing so while you're monitoring the documentation. And contrary to what they have published on the door, closing an hour early because they're short-staffed. This is the reasoning that the male with the glasses gives me while he is monitoring a relevant position. Even him telling me that, I understand, is the ongoing P.O.C. But I just want to point that out. Every single aspect of what is serving to monitor me. 70-05587, a demon turning off the dome light inside of their vehicle while they cross path. All right, that's the parking lot light off. 7KCH609, BD69058, paper. 8JZH501, 7VYH110, 1567613, Upland PD, 7NEB110, license 7VSU759, license 6GDD722, and it is 7:15 p.m. BF19M72, stalking in the path using the brake lights, aiming toward me in the direction. That's the demonic stalking in the path with light. It is currently 7:16 p.m. and I'm showing you what is, again, this is the pattern of conduct of aiming light while I'm standing on the sidewalk, using the vehicle as a means of stalking in the path with light. Not only the headlights that are facing the opposite direction, but also the brake lights. Any method of light creation. Doing so in perfect alignment, okay? And that's what this demon is doing while I'm reading license plates, being molested with directed light, crossing the path repeatedly. He is monitoring in relevant position. And it's also the venue that's across the street. The 10 freeway is right here. The people are systematically monitoring. All right, it's currently 7:16. And this is license BF19M72. That's an African-American male in operation with communication device. And I have shadows going crisscross in opposite directions. That's the impossible light activity that was also inside of the the dome for minions known as the Ovid Family Community Library, while those demons, as I captured them on video at 11:27 on the 4th. All right, that's the light activity I'm currently documenting. I'm observing while that demon, an African American having nothing to do with Black Lives Matter, targeting another African American woman. Okay, doing so of that condition with law enforcement. All right, I read up on police license plate. They're monitoring together. Okay, 8KFP898, 5KRV329, 7WYK917. Corky's is monitoring. The Corky's again located at 385 South Mountain Avenue in Upland, California. It is currently 7:17 p.m. All right, touching, license 8BZY928, and not just a sex offender touching, a demon that is a sex offender touching, and doing so as I change functions on my phone. All right, these are demons that are focused on me. You're literally talking about, again, as I've described it, because that's what they're doing. You talk about double dutch. You've seen you jump the rope and you sit out. You're ready to jump in. You're ready to jump in at any moment's time. That's what they're all doing together. A demon is always present in the path and engaging in what is the maintenance of those elements with simultaneous to whatever it is that I do. That is demonic in and of itself. This demonic pattern of touching with light, that's also understanding what is demonic. All right, it's currently 7:18 p.m. Alrighty, touching. You got more than one. This one coming from my left side, these other demons coming from the right. License 8TID790. And these other line of demons, they're monitoring with the entirety of the shopping plaza, but 8FRL649, 7T79795. And this four-eyed dweeb, 8JPD353 with a demon spirit on her. She's a freak. All right, she's monitoring and she's a sex offender touching. It is 7:20 p.m. 8PGK632, U-Haul, also touching.
This is a minion using a U-Haul vehicle to cross path while these demons are crossing path and touching with directed light. Their headlights are engaging. There's not windmill fanning of headlights, all right? These are psychopaths. These are demons that are touching with light. 8 VIG 207 wishes he was a gangster. He's wearing a dark black hat and playing music while he is a demon-possessed psychopath. He's a sex offender, okay? And he's a creeper. That's the reality of what's wrong with him. He's got the spirit of death on him while he's stalking me, and he has the pleasure of listening to the truth about himself while he's monitoring the documentation and listening to the fact that he's going to be prosecuted as a sex offender that he is, and a terrorist, all right? But that demon engaging and playing music like he's some sort of gangster. Creeping in the night, okay, stalking a woman, literally is what he's doing. It's currently 7:23 p.m., and that's exactly what's ongoing while directed light and possible light activity, and while that which is not the sun is remaining over the parking lot. This is identification of that ongoing stalker that is the state of California acting through the people of the state. Psychopaths on the loose, 7LCU 310. And you see that psychopath with this one coming around the corner waiting to touch. License plate ALEXLG7, a sex offender. Driving a red pickup truck. Coming around to touch, a red Frontier truck coming around to touch. All right, he's already sitting in the parking lot, and that's what I mean by what they're doing. They're sitting in their vehicles, engaging in surveillance. Demons waiting to engage in that ability to stalk with activity, to touch. All right, lights already read T448JO, but I will read it again at 7:24 p.m. 8YGE043. Molesting with Alex, okay? That's the license plate of that Alex that's driving that Frontier, engaging in sexual violence on behalf of the entity. In the same way, the hooligan that's stalking in relevant position to the bathroom, presence on behalf of the entity, okay? And doing so. And how do you know that my shadow is surrounding me? I capture that light activity. Touching on behalf of the entity, again, is sex offender, 6PZF 116. License plate. Demons pacing back and forth, going in opposite directions. My license plate 8BPK198. It's 7:24 p.m. I'm pretty sure I got that one. 5SPY019. And I'm sure I read this demon's license plate working at Dunkin' Donuts, but I want to specifically identify it by employee status. I read it already, but I want to read it. This is when engaging in sexual violence, monitoring me, terrorizing that directed light, repeatedly engaging in molestation with directed light and ongoing terrorism. With third-party facilitating venue in the form of an employee. This is a demon that's monitoring right now as well, engaging in sexual violence today and terrorism. 71971T2. All right, coming from Dunkin' Donuts at 7:25 p.m. It's P.O.C. 7:26 p.m. 6PNU 346. I'm pretty sure we're going. All right, it is 7:28 p.m. 8TYT007, 8CNV806, 8SUG495, 7SJS807, 8VNB205, 53984H3, 8ZDL620, 08440Z2, 8BPK022, 8WCE160, 8LSP740, 8BPK198. All right, crossing path while impossible light activity is touching me. License 7CS8777. I don't see that one. License 7PVC605. 8KIR 400. $7CVC 605, I believe is that last part. I think I read that one already though. 671352. It is 7:30 p.m. XSP 508. 8EOE 082. 7RYX 686. And this minion over here, monitoring with the same African American with the paper plate, 8PXO 815. He's monitoring with all of them. All right, they're patrolling in the street. He's maintaining presence at the sidewalk. 8EIH 760. 8W NS 084. 3BRP. I can't really see the rest of the one. 8APT 839. 6ZQU 240. 8Z468P2, 7HPX 751. And 8PXD 815, I believe I read it correctly the first time. They're group stalking at the drive-thru, maintaining presence. Dunkin' Donuts represented that they already closed. License plate. I don't see a license plate. 8VNL 647, 8HPG 173. 8JGE 998, 7MOE 909, 7JTV 382, 8SVC 116, LDT S47. But again, closure does not mean that they are going to depart from maintenance in the path by staying inside of that closed down business. I just want to make sure I document that. But you have what is, because that is the conduct. That's the conduct of third parties. All right, you're talking about obsessive maintenance of path. They do what they got to do. That's what they do. All right, 8TRL259. But like I said, Dunkin' Donuts stating that they were closed. All right, I just want to point that out. 7EHZ911, 6SGW590, 7RMCO75. 7R90725, 6WXL283, 5XBC 922, 94034M1. All right, and so you remember Starbucks at 111 North Vineyard Avenue, BT63E88. Those minions all know they're monitoring together under the fake sun that was over me. But I even pointed out the ongoing conduct of demons. Obsessed. That's some obsessed and very weird stalking that they were all doing. Sitting around in the drive-thru where nobody was answering, they weren't ignorant of that. The moment that I pointed it out, 7BWT741, and I pointed it out to them like, hey, look, demons, there's a sign here. No, they are all monitoring me. That's why all the elements and the hallmarks are present. I walked to the drive-thru window where none of them were advancing toward. They were staying at the menu and have the line wrapped around the building. 8RDC073, 7VSB982. There's no way that I would sit in a drive-thru line that's not moving for in excess of 30 minutes, which is exactly what I documented while they were monitoring me. 7ROW522. And as they listened to me document that, very obvious and idiotic method of stalking. All right, while I'm maintaining presence, they are maintaining presence there. Okay, Starbucks hurrying up and shutting down that morning, and then you have them sitting around at what is in the drive-thru line, and nobody going up to the window in order to confirm that there's no reason to sit in line. 6YQD167. Remember that? 7BAH667. That's the type of stuff that third parties do. Just want to be clear. And in the absence of coincidence, as I point that out, then you have Starbucks employees arrive. Seconds after I pointed out, arrive, and then in relevant position, they keep the doors closed, and then you've got somebody there to engage in manning the path. They all start driving off though, as though, oh, it's closed. Like nobody knew that the whole time that they were standing in line wrapped around the building. Nobody's going up to the window, just staying at the menu just for 35 minutes. I would not do that. Me personally, I would have left already. But that's me. I'm not a stalker. I'm not trying to look like I'm not a stalker by sitting in a drive-thru, and then when the one whom you are monitoring notices, why are they all sitting in line? It's closed. 6TJ8419. Then everybody starts driving off like, oh, it's cold. But really, what are they doing? They're actually pacing all around. 5NTHICC, 7BNA213, 8ECG652. That's Satan. Psychopath. Psychopath. Obsessed. 8EYX972, and that is exactly what Satan is, and that spirit is on the people, okay? 8KGG318. These are the demon possessed. That obsession is underway. 8YQW548. That is a very real threat. Understand that. That same demonic obsession is in operation where the demon possessed are engaging in the system, because it's entirely of the demonic. These are the demon possessed. These are not normal people. And they're even more revealed as a psychopath, while these demons want to keep their back to like they're doing something like they're normal. Okay. In other words, all right, like they're normal. And this is what I'm saying. You're going to pay attention to the directed light. You're going to pay attention to the 8 hours of the light source over me in Upland today. 8VMX562. 11:31, I captured this video of this directed light inside of the Dunkin' Donuts. And then go back and look at how all of them are in there acting like they're normal. 6RWU753. That's how Satan plays. That's how Satan plays, okay? It's not a game, but I'm just letting you know, this is what satanic conduct looks like. They're just hoping you don't notice. It's too late. I'm the one that's applying the truth to a megaphone. 7PVB121. You look at what they're doing, what they want to act like is the objective. They're just walking around getting their coffee, getting their donuts, whatever it is. All right. And you look at the directed light. That's the truth. Absolutely. Together, engaging in a satanic targeting system, psychopaths, focused on me and just looking the other way. That's the demon possessed stalker. 8UZK409. BO30F08 paper. CB12W49 paper. 00822N2, 5NLA252, 8FEN141, 7HZA036, 7FTH015, 8UPK851, 8PB0470. I think I read that one already. That old biddy engaging in prolonged loitering, monitoring. 7WAV922. Doesn't matter how old these minions are, by the way. Satan is very active in senior citizens and in those who are under the age of majority. It's a demonic spirit. 8NQY329. It's the Satan of Satan itself that animates. 7UZV923. And you are looking at the person, the flesh and blood. All right. And what is active in this person, this flesh and blood, is an entirely demented spirit. All right, an absolute freak of nature. 8WZZ500. One that is literally aware of everything, focused on everything that I'm saying and doing, and trying to act like unpersuasively, because all I have to do is catch 2 seconds later is directed light. The demonic environment that they're in, the demon possession that they are under. Okay, and that demon possession is also seen where they are trying to outwardly act like they're normal, and it's just every day. Just those are demons. That's demons. 8ETA573. 8PYX642. 8LOX. Can't see the rest of that one. 6BVD215. 7XNN755. 6KDR863. 6AYN025. 8KVR547, 8RZS759, CB27C89 paper, 8SBW010, BR26221, and touching. I already read this license plate, but I want to read it again. They're monitoring with Corky's, monitoring with BF19M72. This is the black man loitering in relevant position in alignment to where I'm standing on the sidewalk with a paper plate, monitoring and molesting with this old white bag of bones, 7R30733, touching. All right, it is currently 7:38 p.m. THW P34. It's 7:39 p.m. 7LNS214. And those minions go to third-party facilitating venue Corky's at 7:40 p.m. Monitoring. This is license plate. This is a female.
with the GNC name tag. She's an employee monitoring all day long. 8TJJ635. Already documented her license plate. It's 7:40 p.m. BF197M2. BF19M72. She's monitoring with him while he's touching me with directed light. And he goes out of his way again to touch while he's remaining loitering at the sidewalk. And so as I'm getting in the car, touching with directed light. It is currently 7:41 p.m. (65024W1). 7CYE555. Seven KVD 017. 7CYE555, CA78D83 paper, 5HGV787, I think I read that already. 7DNN955, 8WAE897.
Off license plate.
License 8MZR372, 8LVH549, CAI8J39. That's paper. (8SAA147) at Walmart at 1333 North Mountain Avenue.
Down here today, it was warm. Hey, time change is coming on. I'm so excited. I was like, woo, our winters are short.
This is audible activity. 8ETS714 42812Y1. I think I read that one already. 8EGD978. 8SJP881.
Waist deep, no thank you. Fall down the steps in the ice, no thank you. The snow. That's what I told him. I was like, dude, you need to think about
7GLV463. I can't really see that.
You retired. You can afford it.
6FDY. I can't see the rest of that one. You can scratch that one.
Yep.
47223Y2. 6YDR600. 8LY7305, I believe. I can't really see that one. 8VVU904. And the state is flying what is east over Mountain Avenue right now, hovering over the Del Taco at G Street and Mountain. License 78, oh, I can't say that one. 8BUM960, 8KTL705.
Did you get your food stamps?
BF43P79, or that's a paper plate. I can't see the rest of that one.
Hi. Did you want to buy some groceries?
That's audible activity you're listening to. Directed light is continuously streaming through the car, and the state is hovering via aircraft. It is 7:46 p.m. 6YRL384, I believe.
Was that a no?
7DNF 685. Can't see the rest of them though. 8XFZ572. 7DLW 519. 7JYV 332. It's 7:47 p.m. 34052E1. 8DDA 318, 8RVE 701. 6V96083. 8E76993. 7ZJN. I can't see the result. 8UNE131. I'm sorry, 8HNE131. 7FJU170. And currently driving on G Street, so driving east on G Street. HSC 791. 8DALs 072. 5CLA 430. 6LTF 296. 4NLA 797. 6XXT 119. 8FVX 117. 6 P.O.C 481. 8FVX 116. That is Eric Corey Spencer, the last license plate that I documented upon engaging in what is the pattern of conduct with Tracy Banks, an operation of a communication device, and he's literally just making noise on the phone. Just sitting on the phone is just the ongoing operation of the communication device. Directed light is cycling through the vehicle, and she and Eric Corey Spencer, who is you hear addressing me. This is a demon, all right? This is a psychopath. What you're hearing him say, who are you talking to, Erica? He's monitoring while asking the question, which he already knows what I am doing. He knows that I'm documenting. He is engaging in monitoring me while he's on the phone with Tracy Banks. He is on the phone with her for that purpose at that particular moment. These are demons engaging in the pattern of conduct. I just want to point that out. And this is exactly why I don't even dignify it with a response. You're dealing with the malicious conduct of the demon possessed. So anyway, I just want to point that out. That's the conduct of a psychopath. But nonetheless, it is the P.O.C. and the entity monitoring while on the phone, and as I was pointing out, hovering not only at G Street and Mountain, but also while at Walmart moments prior, while I'm reading license plates. It was at the intersection where the 10 freeway is, right where the intersection before the AMC is on Mountain Avenue, approaching what is the Walmart at 1333 North Mountain Avenue. Right before that, as I recited that information, the entity did hover again, was engaging in an ongoing patrolling via aircraft, engaging in this dipping down low conduct like you see when I'm at the B&G Plaza, and the gate, and the entity is flying over as though they're about to land right there over the Center Ice Arena, or right there behind the Center Ice Arena building. That's what the entity is doing, hovering over the Mountain Avenue. Okay, and that is the maintenance of what is relevant positioning, engaging in that ongoing pattern of conduct of crossing path, doing so in what is the maintained environment of what is directed light, which the entity is aiming through the roof of the car. I can see the shape of the vent that's at the roof. I showed you this before at the Carl's Jr. that was on, not only at that Carl's Jr., that was in Upland on Foothill Boulevard, where the fake sun was directly over the vehicle, and that was coming from the address of 60 North Fern. But also, while inside of the vehicle, and the state is keeping the fake sun here, and I'm showing you what is the light source directly above the vent. But nonetheless, the shape of the vent that is in the center, in the middle of the car, this is the sunroof, the shape of that vent and what is blue tinted light is aiming onto the passenger door. That is directed light. That's impossible light activity as well. Street lights are not that powerful, creating that light aiming downward, which also would not be coming from an angle onto my door. It then moves forward as the vehicle is driving forward. That's not even in conformity to what is the movement under stationary light. Understand the form is supposed to, these are street lights that's aiming all this light inside of the car. All right. Street lights that are above and you are driving toward them, they are stationary. The light's not moving forward toward the front of the car. It would be the opposite direction. But then again, that's never going to happen because driving through over the light, passing over the roof is not creating light onto my feet, onto my thighs, into the middle of the car, aiming the shape of the air vent. I'm sorry, not the air vent, but the vent and under what is the roof, the windshield is not coming from some street lamp aiming it onto the passenger door, which is a method of just filling light. This is the engineered light that is capable of engaging in that sort of mutated light conduct. Okay, the shape of the objects in the car, the shape of the vehicles while they are crossing. But these are demons, and that's that's that demonic light. All right, and it's inside of the car while you're listening to a demon on the phone, monitoring with Tracy Banks. They're monitoring together and doing so. Let me be clear. These demons know every word that I utter today. While they're talking about, he supposedly lives in Oakland, but also, by the way, talking about it was hot today, it was sunny today. The light source, I captured it, remained in Upland, California over the parking lot. All right. And so this is what I find it entertaining when I listen to minions. They lie to themselves and they are lying to each other. But like I said, it is currently 8:05 p.m. With regard to the P.O.C. inside of the vehicle at 630 North Fern, and it's 8:05. This is P.O.C. now. 8GLE030. Again, it is 8GLE030. This is a minion, a demon. Okay, what they are doing it pursuant to whatever it is that I'm doing, and what I'm doing on the internet is uploading images to my Google Drive. And the moment that I do that, you have this demonic conduct of those who surround, monitoring with the entity who's also sending helicopter activity while I'm inside of the vehicle. And following the helicopter activity is immediately the use of lights to aim inside of the vehicle, which I took a picture of as well. This is a molestation. This is a demon. This is a stalker who knows that I'm inside of the vehicle. This is what I documented nights ago at the same venue inside of the vehicle, where even including the demon-possessed United States Postal Service engaging in that same conduct, aiming light on me. They are monitoring with communication devices, monitoring what I'm doing on the internet. The moment that I engage in that operation of that internet, aiming light onto me into the vehicle, which again is engineered light as well, because you have what is more than one manifestation of shadows, and you have what is the abnormal conduct of these lights. Everyone's headlights are extraordinarily powerful. Everyone's headlights are engaging in this windmill-like fanning out light conduct, moving shadows. All right, because light is not moving objects. The shadows of what are stationary objects move across surfaces, while those who are just driving around, that's absolutely impossible light activity. All right, the shadow of a tree is just that, it's a shadow of the tree. Light moves around, right? But headlights that are engaging in what is driving forward and backwards on a street are not moving the shadow of that tree. As I have shown you, is the pattern of conduct, the shadow of trees as they move across, or it's the shadow of anything, the shadow of a gate, the shadow of a car, moving. You even saw my shadow while the demons of the Ontario Police Department were crossing path, okay? And my shadow, there were two of them, a large one that's on the ground in front of me and a large one that's at a distance on the wall that's belonging to the property of 403 West G Street, and that shadow moving. Impossible light, double shadows, impossible light. But you are witnessing the presence of demons while you see that demonic possession personified through that light activity. And that is not conduct that has anything to do, by the way, with their headlights. I'm not even standing in front of their cars. Your headlights are not creating that fanning out light conduct. You're not moving shadows. You're not moving objects. It is in no way logical. All I'm doing is breaking down what is common sense. These are demons that surround. And by when I say that, I keep repeating that these are demons. By that, I mean you are looking at a flesh and blood person. All right. But this is not an ordinary person. They are under the influence of demon possession. In other words, Satan is acting through these people. Okay. Satan is acting through these people who are in an entirely demonic environment. You are not dealing with what is Sally Joe. You're dealing with Satan itself. Satan is present through Sally Joe, Mary Jane, Bobby Joe, every single last one of them. Okay. That's what the reality of what is revealing demonic activity and the demonic environment, which remains present at all times. The demon possessed are maintaining presence as well. Okay. And that's how real and vivid demonic activity is, especially revealing the criminal system that's underway, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. All right. The demon possessed are engaging in heavy duty stalking conduct because it's criminal surveillance in the United States. It's criminal. You are a stalker. All right. And you're not even, being a stalker is not even normal anyway, but you are, an unprecedented level of abnormality. You're a demon possessed stalker. All of this is demonstrated and verified through what is objective evidence that is undeniable in a court of law. It is the ability to prosecute the demonic in a tribunal. Okay. So anyway, it's currently 8:45 p.m. I did capture an image in that license plate engaging in that demonic, that act of terrorism. That is, let me be clear. Let me point out what's the pattern. The fake sun over Dunkin' Donuts, directed light into Dunkin' Donuts. That is the same thing while I'm inside of a vehicle. You can just treat this as another venue wherever it is that I'm located. All of these addresses around me are venues, actually. And you have what is aiming light where I am. It's the same exact pattern of conduct. Okay. It is adjusted to where I'm sitting in the car. So you're aiming light while driving by. You're aiming light while stationary directed light remains inside of the car. And you're also aiming light while you sit around like the demons that they are, just aiming light into the vehicle. And if you get a picture of that in your mind, you don't even have to picture it. I literally capture images of you. But if you just think for a second about that conduct, just doing that in the first place, because that's exactly what they're doing. That is a freak of nature, not a normal person. The objective is to sit there and just aim light at somebody. All right. That is entirely weird. And weird is not even a sufficient adjective to describe that. But like I said, I'm breaking down what is entirely demonic, what is entirely demented, and what is in many ways an attempt by the demon possessed to appropriate entirely freakish conduct and try to make it something that you can metabolize. All right. In other words, and by metabolize, I mean trying to make it look like it's normal conduct. When you're looking at the environment, you're looking at what is the absence of coincidence with regard to the timing that these demons do what they do. All right. I'm just setting my car alarm and walking into the nearby Jersey Subway. I'm about to go get me a Subway or a sub sandwich. Right. You're engaging in the P.O.C. You're a demon sitting in that car waiting for the moment to engage in stalking with activity. The directed light is a verification of that. There is no coincidence. Demons engage in the identical behavioral pattern. That's a psychopath that engages in trying to appropriate it for the appearance of normalcy on the outside. That's a psychopath. And it makes it look normal. Not at all. It doesn't look normal. It looks like exactly what it is. I've revealed it as what it is. And it is what it is. It is currently 8:48 p.m. This is P.O.C.